All right, we are going to start the coachathon for our very first patch for 14.23b. We have a couple of games to review. We have some Plat games, Flex Bruiser Dominator. We're going to go over a Quickstriker game, Family Reroll, bunch of other stuff, bunch of cool little augments as well, and portals. We have like Wandering Trainers, and we also have like the flexible augment later on, so we're going to get some pretty good games to review for this week. We're going to start off with the Wandering Trainers. We have, let's see here, Sentinel, Watcher, and Bruiser, so all three tank ones. This is a bit of a odd combination, I'd say. Nothing too great here, nothing too bad. One thing you could kind of keep in mind whenever you do play for this is going for some sort of Rebel start. That's the one that comes to my mind first, because you could do 3 Sentinel with the Rebels, so you could just add a 4th one to get to 4, ideally Rumble, and you also get Bruiser for your set, so that's a really nice thing to do whenever you have this. What do we have here? We have 2 Violets, which I'd probably pick up and maybe go for some sort of Violet plus Watcher start with Family. That one isn't going to be too bad to do. Where should I put this? I'll put this up here. And then for everything else you want to do, you want to buy everything in your shop. So keeping the 2 Ziggs here is fine, but I feel like you'd want the Violets just because she is a lower cost unit. In this next shop, we have the 2 Zeries. Don't really want that too much. The 2 Ziggs are going to be a bit better with the items we have because you want attack damage items for Zeri, but getting the Sentinel is fine, getting the Watcher is fine. Let's see what they get from this little thing. We get... Okay, setting up the team planner. Let's see what they cook up first. This is going to be a platinum game, I believe. So if you are platinum or a little bit below that, yeah, don't want no scout, no pivot. Probably don't want one for all. I'd probably try to go into some sort of rebel comp. You don't really want one for all with this type of start. I mean, I guess you could do the Renata build with the Sentinels, but it's not that great with what we have. Epic, yeah, that's probably my pick there. Worth the wait. A lot of people like taking that one, but you could also Wandering Trainer into Wandering Trainer. That one is actually a very good combo, so I'd probably take Wandering here, just see what we get, and we get 2 Bruisers and a Dominator. So now things get a little more interesting. You could go in all sorts of different directions here, to be honest. Let's pause for a moment. There's a lot to kind of digest here. Okay. So 2 Bruiser makes me want to go the Twitch and Mundo thing. But you don't really take advantage of anything else. You take advantage of Dominator a little bit, but it's not that great. Maybe we just want to remain a little bit flexible here, play around Bruisers at the start and have some form of backline damage. Getting the Dominator really nice because we have Ziggs, so let's see how we kind of play around that. Let's fast forward a little bit. Don't really need to buy too much in our shop. Like, I mean, I'd obviously pick up the Amumu, probably the Draven. Draven's going to be a good item holder for Twitch if we end up getting Twitch items, which we do not have. But I'd probably just slam the Redemption here. It's a great Bruiser item. Let's see what they put in their team planner. Nothing too much, but they do win their first round. We kind of missed that fight a bit because they were doing team planner, but that's okay. But yeah, definitely would slam the Redemption here. When you have a lot of tanks, and we'd have that right now, like Redemption's always going to be one of the best items. So you also want to always use your items at the start and then go for that. But this would be an interesting game. I did have like a 2 Bruiser emblem game the other day, and it was really nice, but I had actual emblems, not this Wandering Trainer nonsense that I absolutely detest. But, you know, sometimes you get that. Let's fast forward a little bit. In this new shop here, there isn't really too much to pick up. I'd probably play the Loris over this Rel, but it's not really the end of the world. But for sure, again, Redemption Slam is going to be pretty good. I'm wondering what they're actually cooking up because that would dictate a lot more on the items, but it doesn't seem like they have a full plan, which I don't blame them. There's, again, a lot of different directions you could go. And let's see what they get after losing that fight. So they are 3rd pick. Not ideal. For me, I'd probably pick up a bow, try to go Twitch. But you also want to finish up some of these tank items, so getting like a belt for Warmog's probably not too bad either. They get a sword on 1 cost. Okay, I'm not really too sure on that. Probably the belt or chain might have been a bit preferred by me, build a Sunfire Cape or a Warmogs. You do need some sort of damage. I'm not going to deny that, but this doesn't feel that great. Okay, so they're going to go Shojin because we have a lot of tanks right now, right? We have like absolutely no damage, so how are we going to kill anything? So getting like a Sunfire Cape, probably good for the burn effect. And then they level up there. Yeah, sure, that's fine. And we are facing off against someone with Starry Knight. They're going Starry Knight family with Pit Fighter. Holy cow, they won the Wandering Trainer lottery. I absolutely hate this portal so much, or Galaxy, whatever you want to call it. One time I saw someone with Automata, Watcher, and I think it was Quickstriker. I've also seen Academy, Sentinel, plus Visionary. And I'm just like, how do you even lose a game from those spots? It's absolutely crazy stuff. But they win this round here. Shojin's fine. I'm not saying like Shojin's bad or anything, but they're just better things to go. Because you just look at your board, you have one unit in the back, it's a 1-star Ziggs. It's doing like all your damage, right? So you just want something else helping you out there. All right, 2-star Draven, 2-star Darius. Probably gonna lose this one, but they don't have items, so maybe we can win. Never mind, they're level 4, so we win. Fast forward there, and 4-1 in the first stage. That's not bad, that's pretty good. We're not on a perfect streak or anything, but that's actually good because we get to learn more from this, because if everyone's perfect streaking, the games are really easy. So let's see what happens when we do not get a perfect streak. So you get a Rod. That's really good. You could build like Morello here for the Ziggs. Morello Ziggs just auto wins like the entire game, in my opinion. Not the entire game, but like stage 3 for sure, stage 4 parts of it, and absolutely no. Okay, this isn't bad, but I would have much preferred to see the Morello, because again, you have like so many tanks, so you want some sort of burn effect. That way, when your tanks are tanking, they slowly burn down throughout the fight. Nashor's, it's a perfectly fine item. Not saying it's a bad item, but I would have built the other one. But it's not the end of the world. At least they're building items, which is good, because I know a lot of people, they don't build items at all. But if you are going Dominator, going something like a Jeweled Gauntlet is pretty good on them, because Cloak isn't really that useful, in my opinion, in the Dominator comp. And you also get a lot of ability power from the Dominator trait. So you just add some crit there, and you are going to be good to go. So essentially, as the fight goes on, you build up Dominator stacks to get ability power. It's like a built-in Archangel staff, and then Jeweled Gauntlet is like the perfect complement to that, right? That's typically how a lot of people build a lot of their units. But let's see what they get here. So what do we want at this point? I definitely want to go into some sort of fast 8 comp, so Econ could be useful, but we are win streaking already. We're decently rich. How much gold did we have before? We have 32 gold going into this, so we have 40 gold now. After we level up, we'll have 30 again. So raining gold definitely is possible. Sated Spellweaver, if we're going all in on the Dominators, you could go for this, but it's really only good for Mordekaiser because you don't really use the Omnivamp on Silco or Ziggs that much, and Ziggs is who you're playing right now. Noble Sacrifice, we have like a lot of people in the front line, but I like that more when I have like lots of resistances on my units, such as if I'm playing Sentinels. But yeah, probably just raining gold here. And that should be that. Let's see what they end up picking. They're debating Pyromaniac. Oh, my bad. It actually could have been Pyromaniac. In my mind, I had a Morellonomicon built, so I was not thinking about that because I don't want to stack red buff and Morello. But yeah, it could have been Pyromaniac. If we were on a win streak, I'd probably favor that one over this. But level up for sure here. Put some unit in. Who do we have? We could have put in Conqueror, Firelight, Visionary. Don't really have any of those, so yeah, sure, just put in another Ziggs. Maybe a Nunu would have been better, just because he's a bruiser and we have like 4 bruiser already, so he gets a lot of benefit. But let's see how we win this round. They have a Zoe already, so they're looking a little scary. They're going Sorcerers. Sorcerer's not that great right now, But I guess if you get a perfect game for it, it's probably fine. Ziggs is such a monster in the early game, though. Do we end up winning this fight? I think they do. Nice. Fast forward a little bit. We are... Did we roll? Okay, they rolled. I would not have rolled here. I think you want to just go... Are they going for Ziggs reroll? Is that what they're doing? I don't think so because they just sold it, right? But I would have liked to see them just wait a little longer and then reroll after that. Probably slam Jeweled Gauntlet here. I guess they're getting scrap value. That's fine too. But either Hextech Gunblade or Jeweled Gauntlet probably fine here. I prefer the Jeweled Gauntlet and then save the second sword for another Shojin for someone else. Like, people often play Dominators with like LeBlanc, but we do have a bunch of the Bruisers here. So I guess you could combine Elise, she's a Black Rose, LeBlanc, another Black Rose, Vlad, another Black Rose plus Watcher, and then add in a fourth Bruiser to kind of round out the comp. And then play that with some sort of backline carry, and you're going to be more than fine. But we're facing off against Ezreal too. Not ideal. They're going to whoop us right here, and that's exactly what happened. All right, let's go on into the carousel round. What do we want? That Mundo's looking pretty juicy there. He's got a Rod, which could be used for Ionic Spark, and it's also a Mundo if you are going Dominators. But someone took that there. I want to see some items being finished, so... It's actually kind of tough. So we have a Negatron, a Glove, and the Rod. So I would have built Jeweled Gauntlet already. So I'd normally just have the sword left. So I'd probably go, or sorry, sword and the Negatron. So I'd probably go for a tier here. Let's see what they end up getting. Okay, they get a tier. And then just build a second Shojin. Like, again, you don't need the Archangel staff because Dominators already have that built in. But they build it. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's still a good item on Silco. Like, you could always check the data on teamfight.lol. That's what I like to use. So I'm going to show you all how to use that in just a second. You can go to Explore. Obviously, with Wandering Trainer, it gets a lot more complicated, but you could just type in Silco here and then go to Items. And then we can see like a bunch of the items that he uses very commonly. So Spear of Shojin, of course, that's going to be the top choice. Like, everyone builds this on him no matter what. Nashor's Tooth, another great option whenever you are playing Dominators. And then after that, we have like Jeweled Gauntlet, Red Buff, Archangels. But you can see like Archangels perform slightly worse than the other ones, and it's built less. So you need to put a lot of weight on total games because oftentimes one of the lesser built items do well because they have one of the more frequently built items combined with them. And they're just going to be the most consistent in most cases. You could also change this little rank thing to your rank, so you don't have to look at Master Plus. Like, most people do look at Master Plus or Diamond Plus, but let's say you are in Platinum, and in this game we're reviewing, we are looking at Platinum games, so you could even look at how he does there. And we could see Silco does a bit worse in Platinum rating. I'm guessing the reason why is because Fast 8 is a little more difficult than some of the reroll comps, but again, you could see some of the same patterns. AP, like Archangel and Rabadon's, not as useful because as a Dominator, you already get a lot of free AP, so you want to focus on like quick casting, Shojin plus Nashor, and then ideally the Jeweled Gauntlet. Another pattern I noticed when I switched the ratings is that people don't like the Red Buff or Morello as much in lower ratings, probably because it doesn't feel like a pure damage item, so that's why they don't build it. But as you go up and up, different items kind of start being built. So if we look at Diamond Plus, like Red Buff, much more popular. But going back into the game, they're going to face off against Dominator, Sentinel, and Scrap, so they're doing some sort of Ziggs build right now. Actually, I don't know what they're quite doing. They have a bunch of Scrap units, but they're kind of half and half on a bunch of different things. We have to pay attention to see if we wanted to level up to level 7 last turn. So we're at 52 gold right now, so it costs 16 to level up. Normally, I say if you can make it to level 7 and keep 30 gold, you should probably do it. So we probably could have gotten a level up here. I also would have liked to see picking up the Vladimir to go for a Black Rose plus Dominator with the Bruiser and Watcher. It's kind of a good way to use all the little traits that we had. But let's go on into the next round. We're able to end up winning that one. I wonder what they are cooking with this. They want to go 6 Bruiser, it looks like, and then have some sort of backline DPS carry. You could also do something weird, such as like an Elise backline carry. That could be pretty useful too. Yo, Leo, thanks so much for the Prime. Much appreciated. Wait, how come my notifications don't work? I swear I tested them before the stream started. Okay, whatever. Not whatever. I should be able to respond to them. Under Pressure says, I hit Emerald this season. I've been only playing for 2 rank seasons. I struggle the most with when I should make econ over pairs. It feels really bad to sell a pair I know can result in a win streak. So to answer that question, you want to know if you can even win streak to begin with. Some pairs, they don't end up helping your team that much. So it has to be like kind of a critical unit. And in which case you're probably playing them on your board anyway. So you should probably look at that a little bit. But that question, you need examples to kind of analyze fully. It always kind of depends on the situation. But let's see what drops here. We have the Ezreal, Nunu, Swain, and some Ziggs. I really have to wonder what their full team planner is going to look like. But we'll see. I'm going to guess it's just Dominators with Elise. For the items here, we definitely need to complete some of them. I'd probably build the chain plus glove item, Steadfast Heart. That's a way to kill 2 components that you don't really use that much. You could probably build Giant Slayer on someone for the late game, or you could like be greedy and pray you get a Mordekaiser and hold off on building the sword and chain. That way you have Edge and Knight later, but that's a little wishful, so I probably wouldn't do that, but it's just something to consider, you know? I'd probably just slam the Steadfast here and then wait on the other components. Giant Slayer I like building later into the game. It's not anything that is that great, but we're able to win this round. What are they playing? Renata, but they only have Renata 2 right now. Is it a win? Yes, barely. All right, for the last augment, probably want, I'd say like a component augment wouldn't be so bad because they have so many unbuilt components. That's typically when you want to take that. Tomb Raider, I don't really like this one that much because even though it does give a lot of items, you have to be like really winning and there have to be a bunch of griefers in your game. So you know how some games, some people die before the stage 4 or 5 carousel? If that's the case, like you could take Tomb Raider, but even then it's not that great. Tomb Raider will need to give you at least 3 items for it to be worth it, because if we think of the value of prismatic traits, they give around like 2.5 items, but normally they're like good items, right? And like Tomb Raider, you don't get the best choice all the time because it depends on who died, right, and what they built. Generally there's going to be something takeable though, so I'd say like Tomb Raider in terms of like item RNG value, it's actually not bad, but they're better things to take because if you take, let's say, Belt Overflow, where you get 5 belts right away, and belts become like a little bit better, you could just slam 2 Warmogs right away plus another item, and you get the value starting from stage 4 too. Whereas Tomb Raider, you're probably not going to get value until stage 5, so even if you get 3 items from it, it's like barely break even. So you actually want like 4 items from it, and that's asking for a lot. You're a top 4 if that happens. So you want to help your team to top 4. You don't want to do better after you already top 4'd. So probably don't want Tomb Raider. That's why it's not that great. They need to buff it in some way. Sentinel Crown, I feel like we have too many tank traits right now. You don't really need that one. I'd probably just take Coronation here, just fit a bunch of extra units in, which is especially helpful if we have all these Wandering Trainers, because we could find something really wacky and go for. Zalupik asks, is Black Rose a decent default build when no build is shaping during the first 2 stages? Yes, I like it a lot. You could go for, I wouldn't say Black Rose default, but like AP default, and go for like Heimerdinger builds with Sentinel or Academy, and then also combine it with like Black Rose or Dominator, see what you hit. And yeah, you could always split between those 3 comps. But yeah, it's just Coronation here. Let's see what they end up picking. I'll fast forward a little bit. Yep, Coronation, good stuff. And then you get to add in an extra unit. So we could add in a 4th Dominator if we have one. So we could just drop in Cassio. And pretty simple stuff there. I don't know why they are centering their Silco. Normally I put them on the side. Whoa. Did we just build a QSS? Okay. It's only good if you hit Mordekaiser if you build that QSS. And if we don't, we're pretty screwed. Like at this point, if I slam the QSS, I might as well just slam the Edge and Knight also, because I would just go all in on Mordekaiser, but I wouldn't be in this position in the first place, if you get what I mean. I would have much preferred just to see the Steadfast Heart and then kind of AFK on the rest, or maybe build a Giant Slayer. Ooh, barely lose that round there. Another thing I would have done differently is I would have put this Tactician's Crown onto the Ziggs. Just because you're probably going to sell Ziggs later because you have, or you want to play 6 Dominators. So once you get Mordekaiser, you could use Ziggs as kind of like your item holder for him. But moving on, they did add Mordekaiser to their team planner. They have Rumble. Rumble's probably going to be pretty solid with this. Obviously, all the Bruisers are really good, though we don't need 6 Bruiser. Probably 4 Bruisers is enough. Maybe Elise and Rennie, or Elise and Nunu. Call it a day after that. Because the Wandering Trainers themselves, look at how beefy they are. Like, both the Training Dummy and the Sentinel, they have so much health, so much resistances, that you just don't need any more frontline after that. They're already strong enough on their own. So I'd much rather see maybe some utility units or like some random legendaries over just having extra Bruisers. Like, there's nothing wrong with 6 Bruisers at this point in the game, but normally when I do my team planner, I plan for much later on. So one thing to kind of keep in mind there. All right, we end up beating this Academy player. They beat us before. They had their Ezreal 2 while we had Ziggs 1. So now that we have Silco 1 and like a pretty decently strong board, we got that frontline upgrade, which was pretty crucial. Oh my god, there's a Mordekaiser there. We don't end up getting it. So our choices here are Negatron, Chain, or Sword. Malzahar does look very juicy, but we don't have an emblem to actually put on the Malzahar, so I don't know if we really want that because we get another sword for that. We don't really need more swords. We also have a Chain Vest on someone else, so you could go like Bramble Vest. I didn't really scout the lobby that much, but if there's a lot of attack damage users, then Chain would be pretty useful. But Negatron doesn't seem that juicy. They end up going for the Negatron. I probably would have went for the Chain, just built the... what's it called? The Bramble Vest. Or go super greedy, go Titan's Resolve and Edge of Night for my Mordekaiser that I hopefully will get. But let's see what they build here. The reason why I don't like Negatron, by the way, is because the item it builds with Chain Vest is going to be the Gargoyle Stoneplate. And when do we like Gargoyle Stoneplate? We got to ask ourselves that, right? Stoneplate I like a lot when you have like very few tanks. So maybe like 1 to 3 tanks. That's going to be the ideal time to do Gargoyle Stoneplate. And look at our board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the front line. Gargoyle Stoneplate, while still fine, I'm not saying it's a bad item, but they're just better things to kind of build. Slam BT for Mord? Yeah, you could slam BT for Mord too. I like Edge of Night more because if we read Mordekaiser, let me go to what Mordekaiser does. I'm going to go Team Builder, Mord, hover over him. He gains 30% Omnivamp already when he does his ability. So you could add more Omnivamp. I'm not saying it's bad to do, but he doesn't, it's not mandatory, you know? So I'd much rather have Edge of Night so that he gets his cast off and then heals all the way back up to full anyways from the built-in Omnivamp in his kit. And it also grants him bonus attack speed. So that's why I like the Edge of Night on him a lot more. So they backline their Elise here. I'd probably just keep the front line Elise, to be honest. The stun's pretty useful. I know we want more damage units, but she doesn't have any items, so she's not actually doing any damage. All right, we win this fight here against a Black Rose player. And then here we get the Anomaly. Who do we want to Anomaly this game? This is actually a little tough. I'd say... We don't have a legendary yet, so we can't really put it on them. With the Wandering Trainer, this is where anomalies get a bit more tricky, right? I'd probably just go flexible on the anomaly, just get something that is semi-useful right at the start, so like nothing wasted. Probably just put that on Silco, call it a day, honestly. Let's see what they end up taking. Yeah, I'd probably... Oh, they pass on it. Slow Cooker... I mean... Honestly, the Mundo's not going to be that tanky because he doesn't have any of the emblems. I don't really like that one. But I would have taken Nothing Wasted at the start, and that'd be it. This champion gains 40% more AP from all sources. Yeah, just drop that on Silco. Just, like, save your gold to go level up. What are they looking for? Because they rolled over 2 Silco ones. Okay, I just don't know what they're looking for. They rolled over tank ones, they rolled over Silco ones. So let's see what they end up taking. I wonder what they were really looking for. This burn one's probably not bad also because you don't have any burn effects right now and you have a lot of tanks. Yeah, just take it. But I feel like we should just take in the first one we saw just to not roll. Isn't Gargoyle OP here since it synergizes with high health from Bruiser? Also, why is he playing Zoe? Yeah, it is good. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't like playing Stoneplate when I have a ton of people in the front line. For example, he could have taken the chain off of the carousel to build a Bramble Vest, which also gives a lot of resistances, and then instead of building QSS, use the other cloak for like a D-Claw. And yeah, I don't know why he's playing Zoe. Probably second Ziggs is better. Okay, he realized that. We rolled here once. Okay, so how many times did they roll? Twice? Or no, just once. I probably would not have rolled. I know we have a bunch of pairs. We have... Actually, we don't have any pairs. We only had Cassio pair. Yeah. I would not have rolled there either. I think you just want to go level 9 because we're 75 health. Always look at your life total. Don't always just blindly follow a leveling guide. When you have like a lot of health in stage 4, you could use your health as a resource to get more gold. And we could also just wait till level 9 to roll for some legendaries because we pretty much have our team settled. And I know Silco 2 is powerful, I know Mundo 2 is powerful, but we don't have any pairs of them on our bench. So in order to hit them, we'd probably have to realistically roll like 30 to 40 gold to hit them. So rolling once to get Cassio 2, I would say is a lucky outcome. So they got like rewarded for a play I would not have made. All right, they're facing off a family player. So they're going family, but they only have Violet 2-star. That is really unlucky for them, considering they have Starry Night. They must have done something wrong in the roll down, no flame, because, yeah, like with Starry Night and not having Violet 2-star and only having Powder 3-star, not even Draven, something must have gone wrong during the roll down or during the econ phase. No flame. So they probably did not watch the leveling guide on Bunny Muffin's YouTube channel or checked out the leveling guide on the website, bunnymuffins.lol. All right, next shop. Nothing that interesting here. Let's see what they get. They got some gold. Yeah, you could sell those. We got a glove. And then what do we want from this item anvil? I mean, so many of these items depend on whether we hit Mordekaiser or not. If we do hit Mordekaiser, like pretty much just auto win the next few rounds because Edge and Knight QSS, very deadly item combo. You probably want to combine that with a Ionic Spark maybe. Doesn't even have to be on your Mord. It could be on like your Mundo or one of the Bruisers. But here I'd want to level up. Let's see, how much gold does it cost? 66 gold, we're at 86, so if we level up, we'll be at 21 gold. If we sell some things, maybe at like 25, 30 gold, you could wait one round. Again, we have a lot of life to play around with, so you're not in a rush to spend your gold. Like we could easily take at least one loss. And wait, what items did they build here? Okay, they sold the Trundle. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, they didn't build any items. They're just moving them around. They put them on Rennie, though. I probably would have put them on Set just because we're probably going to sell set. I would drop down to 4 Bruisers for sure. Just play better units during the roll down. Like, any legendary units fine. Like, we have Jace for Shapeshifter. Who else? You could probably just run a Malzahar. Who else? Mordekaiser, obviously. There's probably like 1 or 2 legendaries that I'm missing here. LeBlanc, you probably want LeBlanc. Play some Black Rose. All right. That's fine. And then here, yeah, just level up. How much does it cost? 76 minus 52 was at 24 gold. So yeah, we could level up, have 30 gold, roll 30 gold. Sure. You could sack 2 more, but I'd prefer not to, because if you lose 2 rounds, you're going to lose like 15 life per round. So we'll be at 30 life. That'll put us in like the bottom half of the lobby most likely. So I definitely want to see a level up here and then roll down to 0 after that. All right. They're facing off against the Renata player. They have 3-star everything and a very powerful, what's her name, Rel 3-star with Radiant Warmogs, but they have a Chain Vest as a 3rd item, so it's actually not that strong because you're putting a Radiant item on someone who only has 1 other item, so it's not the most valuable. But we do end up losing because we have 1-star Silco as our carry, but had we rolled down here, we definitely would have won this round. We're going to drop to 46 life, so we lost 14 there. Not the end of the world, but I think we could have hit at least something with 30 gold at level 9. So they're just going to... Oh, they level up here. Okay. This is fine, too. I thought they were going to level up in stage 5-5, not 5-3. If the plan was to level up on 5-3, I'd say it's fine to sack the first round. All right, let's see what they get. Okay, definitely want the Rumble. All the other stuff probably could pass on. Hey, dude, did you know it now shows how much gold you need to level up? We don't have to calculate anymore? Yeah, but I'm not playing this game. I'm watching someone else play it, so I can't, like, hover over it, unfortunately. Because these are all coaching videos. Oh, wait. Give me 1 sec. I need to change something. All right, let's see. On the roll down, nothing that interesting. Like, why are we playing this? What's her name? Mbessa. It gives the emissary trait, but honestly, like, I'd rather just have the other Rel in there. Probably doesn't make that much of a difference though, but we needed to roll down to 0 here. Rolling down to 32, definitely not enough. Whenever you level up, you need to roll as much as your gold as possible. That's why the team planner is really helpful to help accelerate a lot of your rolls, and also having a decently clear bench so you don't get confused on the roll down. But we were able to win this round, but it wasn't due to any like board upgrade that we got, right? Because we didn't actually upgrade our board. I mean, we got a Rumble, but he's 1-star, no items. I highly doubt he did that much. So what do we want here? I don't mind just going for the Edge of Night. We're probably going to find Mordekaiser really, really soon, and that's just one of his best items. If not, go for the Rabadons. We go for Quicksilver. I would have liked to see the hat, because we already have a Quicksilver, so who are we going to put second Quicksilver on? There's Mordekaiser. Okay, beautiful. Let's see how he navigates this. Putting it in over Mundo, item remove, perfect. Quicksilver 1. Yeah, you can't put both on it. It's a unique item. Coronation probably going to be really good, and then yeah, decent. I would have liked the Giant Slayer maybe, but they're around the same. I think Giant Slayer is really good in the late game, so that's why I prefer it on him, because obviously Cassio isn't going to be doing that much. Can we get to 6 Dominator? Who are we missing? Ziggs and Mundo? Oh, he sold Mundo. I mean, 4 is fine, right? But see what I mean? Look at the Mordekaiser. Like, he went to, like, pretty much no health, but then because he has built-in lifesteal, he was able to heal all the way back up. So that's one really good thing about Mordekaiser. You don't actually need the Bloodthirster on him, though it's still, like, a good item. Pretty much any item is good on Mordekaiser. Just make sure you have 3 on him. Doesn't really matter what it is. All right. Next up, we have set 2. We do want to keep rolling for the Silco. There's Jace. We could probably... How much life are we at right now? Probably 30. Yeah, definitely frontline Elise. You want the stun effect. Oh, no, you don't want that Nunu. Nunu 3, not going to do much, right? We don't have any items for him. Rumble, good. Like, who's our item priority? You have to always think about that. Whenever you're going for 3 stars, you have to make sure that you could actually utilize them. And having a naked 3-star, not going to do much for your team. But here, our item priority is probably going to be on Rumble because he's a 5 cost, and we also have like 2 Sentinel for him. Not the biggest upgrade, but like decent. If we get like a bunch of mana items, putting it on Elise isn't bad, such as Protector's Vow, Adaptive Helm, things like that. If we want backline items, probably going to go for LeBlanc. So this Nunu 3, not going to help us that much. I'd probably skip out on it. So we'd want to sell a lot of our bench here. I'd sell the Nunu, Set, Cassio, and the extra Rennie. This person likes keeping a lot of extra copies of units they already have 2-starred. I'm not too sure why. Is it because they're always going for 3 stars? That might be the case, but if that is, that's wasting a lot of gold. I probably would not do that. Is Fast 8 and Roll Down strat enough to get to Diamond? It's enough to get to, like, Challenger. You have to execute it well, obviously, but yeah, definitely viable for doing whatever you need to do. There's some Challenger players that, like, never scout. They never do anything. They're pretty much playing solitaire, and they could get there. I'm not saying that means everyone can do it, but the most important thing to kind of improve on in your own play is just like TFT fundamentals, and we should always focus on that. Like, I think people stress too much about mini optimizations a lot of times, and that kind of confuses them a little bit. Not confuses them, but like waste energy and resources that they could use to just being better. Like, if you think of, let's say, a chess player, for example, and you're like, oh, should I play the Kali system or like the London system, or should I play the Sicilian? Doesn't matter. Just be better at chess. Like, be better at tactics, be better at strategy, be better in the mid game, be better at end game, memorize end game patterns instead, and you'll be a lot better versus like spending 5 hours deciding whether you want to play the London system or the like E4, for example. So like, most openings are viable. Like, there are grandmasters that play crappy openings, or crappy players that play very good openings, and essentially it just doesn't matter. You just have to be good at chess. Like, you have to be good at tactics, you have to be good at formulating like mid-game strategies, and you have to be good at knowing all the end games. So items here, we do need some magic pens. So Static Shiv comes to mind right away. Protector's Vow, good for Elise, but I think since we have no Magic Shred right now, no brainer, Static Shiv for sure. Drop it on LeBlanc. Item remove the Cassio, drop all those items on LeBlanc, call it a day after that. Is there anything else we could kind of consider here? Yeah, I mean, there are other good options here, like Shojin's also good for LeBlanc, Protector's Vow for Elise, as I said before. You could do like a Handed Justice, Jeweled Gauntlet combo on Mordekaiser. Like, these are all good things. I'm not saying they're bad, but I think the biggest priority here is going to be the Static Shiv, because we just don't have that effect right now. Okay, I actually don't mind that Reforger. Actually, that's a risky Reforger. Imagine if you just get a Deathblade here. I guess you could put it on Jace. Okay, maybe the Reforger is fine, but never Reforge Giant Slayer in the late game, because when do you want Giant Slayer? In the late game. It's just when it's the best item, because everyone meets the threshold for it, or like, not everyone, but a lot of people meet the threshold for it, and it's just like a very solid build. So we end up putting the Jeweled Gauntlet on Jace. Okay, we could have put all 3 of these items onto LeBlanc instead, and she would have been cooking with that. I don't think LeBlanc needs items compared to other legendaries. Like, she doesn't carry as hard with 3 items compared to like a 3-item Mordekaiser, but if you have her 2-star, just throw items on her. Like, we have 1-star Jace, what are we doing with it, you know? All right, nothing interesting in this shop. Probably just, do we donkey roll here? We're at 23 life, we're 1 off Mordekaiser and Rumble. Yeah, I'd probably donkey roll here. Donkey roll means just rolling to 0. All All right, we're facing off against the Renato. Oh, by the way, one thing with Mordekaiser and Scion, since we could talk about positioning a little bit. Scion, you always want to put on the same side as the enemy carry. That way he activates earlier. You notice this fight, Scion didn't do anything. He just sat in the corner and watched the whole fight, and he needs to pull his weight, you know? He's kind of like a CEO, and he's just sitting in the back doing nothing. Like, we need like a frontline generals, you know? That's what Scion should be doing. But he's just sitting in the side, and that's because we did not scout and position properly. And also for Mordekaiser, I like putting him near my other carries because the 4 nearest units always are going to take extra damage from Mordekaiser. So, or Mordekaiser and everyone else. So what you want to do is position your team like this. Here, I'll show you in the team builder. We have Mordekaiser there. We have, who do we have? Silco and LeBlanc. So either do something like this with Mordekaiser over here, LeBlanc and Silco on the same side, or just do it on the other side, have them next to each other. It's nothing too complicated. You also want LeBlanc near your damage dealers because if you read her, she like chains together the nearest 4 enemies for 5 seconds, and the more damage you do to them, like they take true damage. So it's a very, very nice effect. But going back into the game, rolling down. Unlucky that we're not seeing Mords and Rumble 2. That is a big upgrade, and we did have a lot of gold. Oh, it's as if this person heard me, and they're moving their Scion around a bit, but of course this is a replay, so they're not actually hearing me. Mordekaiser walked to the back line, so I guess we win the fight. It's also a ghost, so it's looking like at least a second, if not a first. Dare I say a first. All right, what do we want on this carousel? Let's look at our board again. So they did end up moving the items onto LeBlanc. Very nice, but I would have never put the items on Jace in the first place. We could use maybe a Rumble item in case we get Rumble 2, or like a mana item on Elise. Mana item on Elise actually probably going to be pretty decent if they exist on this carousel. So let's take a look. Nothing that great here, to be honest. Maybe a Deathblade for Jace if we get Jace 2, but we have Jace 1. So Jeweled Gauntlet for Rumble, BT for Rumble, probably one of those two. Doesn't really matter which. Like, Rumble doesn't matter that much right now. Last Whisper. Okay, I would not have gone for that. So for Rumble upgrades, like, it's late game, so just spend the gold. But if this was like stage 4, if I need the gold for something else, then you go spare parts. But if you think you could get Rumble 2, upgrade in. But here, probably just upgrade because we don't really have much use for our gold at this point. Which one is this? Constant deal magic damage in a cone. What was the other one? This one, blast for this enemy. I like the blast for this enemy one a lot in Rebels because we do a lot of backline damage. But in this one, probably either or. It doesn't make that much of a difference. Like, let's be real, 1-star Rumble, no items, probably not going to do that much work anyways. So that is a Mordekaiser 2, so I'm just going to assume that they won this game. All right, we're facing off against Victor with 3 items, Rebels, and they also have Mel. Okay. But we do need to put our units near this Mordekaiser still. Mordekaiser is doing a lot of work, healing up, barely not dying, so that definitely carried the fight. With Mord 1, maybe this fight ends up going a lot differently, but we are able to knock them out and win the game. So overall, I'd say for this player, I would have liked to see a different team comp come out. Bruisers, like 6 Bruiser is good, don't get me wrong, but I think Black Rose would have been a little bit better. Like, nothing crazy better, but definitely a little bit better. Played around the Ziggs, I think, for a little too short of a time. I don't think the item slams were that great. In the start of the game, we had so many tanks, so we needed something to scale off of that. So either like building an Archangels or Rageblade is really good when you have like 5 tanks in the early game, or building a burn effect item such as Sunfire Cape or Morello. So I would have liked to see that. But overall, like, not a bad game. We'll go on into the next one here. So the next one up we have is going to be a Nocturne game. So do people like playing Nocturne? I like him a lot, but let's see how this player kind of deals with it. We'll screen this. Here, let me look at some of the comments. I was also on 14 HP. Oh, you guys are talking about emissary comp. Why roll down before carousel? He could have just built a little more economy for after carousel. Are you talking about stage 5-3? We could go to that. So here, I think it's because he lost one round. He probably decided on stage, like at the beginning of stage 5, he was probably like, okay, I'm going to level to level 9 at 5-2. And then since he didn't, he's probably like, oh, since I'm at 60 life, I'll just wait till my next loss and then level up then. That was probably his thought process. But I don't mind the level up on 5-3 if he was able to roll down to 0 gold, but he wasn't, if that makes sense. How do I feel about the Lone Hero Lux comps? They're annoying to deal with. Yeah, I hate them too, but they are changing them. I got 7 top 4s in a row because of your guides with Pit Fighter. Thank you. Yeah, no worries. Would it be wrong to move Archangel over from Silco to Mord? I don't like Archangel on Mord because he's in the front line, so he's going to die really quickly. So if we look at the Mordekaiser items, like, yeah, he could stack infinite healing with the Archangels potentially and let it scale that way. But if he's doing that, you're probably winning the game anyways, or winning the fight anyways. So I'd rather just have this item combo on him. Crown is really, really good on Mordekaiser. The reason why is because it gives both attack speed and ability power, so those are exactly the stats that you need. Jeweled Gauntlet synergizes really well with Quicksilver because they both give crit. I wouldn't really change his items too much, unless I got like a Edge and Knight or something like that. That'd probably be the only thing I'd change on him. But for Archangels, I definitely like it more on backline units because it allows them to stack a bit more, you know? But let's close out of this and go to the new game. So this one's going to be a Nocturne game. This one is also in Platinum. And let's see what they do. So we get 2 component Anvil Survive. On Vibe Portal, it's really good to, if you like to hard force comps. I'm not saying it's good to hard force comps, but it definitely is useful. Okay, so I can see why they went for Nocturne. They saw a Nocturne early on, plus an Akali. And Sword's honestly pretty good for this too. So I wouldn't like call it right away because the most important thing for Nocturne, and you could find this out really easily by going on the website, bunnymuffins.lol, and click on Nocturne Reroll. You'll see the requirements is artifact items. So unless you have something that gives +1 range to your Nocturne, it becomes a lot worse. Like you definitely want the +1 range. So I would not call the comp right away, because you don't have the requirements for it yet. I'm not saying you can never go Nocturne without it. Like, I've definitely done it. I've seen other people do it. But unless I get Nocturne 2 right away for free, I probably would consider playing something else. That being said, you could use Nocturne as an item holder and then pivot to something else later on. That's also very possible. And then if you happen to get a ton of Nocturnes during that time and just hard force it after that, then yeah, very good stuff. You could definitely do that. Give me one sec. I need to... All right, so here, nothing that much in the early game. Could we have made interest last round? Not really. Yeah, just hold on to all these units. I'd probably pick up the Violet, just in case we get crazy Violet stuff, because we also have the Vander. I know we don't have that many copies of Violet, but you never know what happens in the next round. So Aerial Warfare, Unleash the Beast, Portable Forge. If you're going for Nocturne, you just got to auto-click Portable Forge. But of course, re-roll the other 2 just in case you get something nuts. And okay, this person is following the guide. Okay, perfect. They did not fully commit to Nocturne, and I believe them. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they kept Nocturne on their bench, and they didn't call out Nocturne in all chat and /deafen, so they definitely intelligently went for the Nocturne. So I'm actually pretty proud of that. Let's see what they end up taking here. Sniper's Focus, of course, is going to be what I'm going to take. And yeah, just hard force Nocturne at this point. Yeah, throw these people in. Give me one sec. And do we want to level up here? Yeah, you could do IE. IE is really good. You don't really need lifesteal in this build because he's going to be ranged, but we probably do want to pop the anvils. You could level up here, drop in the Watcher, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Okay, let's go to the fight. I'd probably pop the anvils though. You definitely want to get more items either for Nocturne. And let's see what goes on. Like, whenever you have these anvils on your bench, you always want to use them. But we don't, like, yeah, you don't want them sitting, because if other people use, oh no, this person has 2 Nocturnes on their bench. Were they going for the same thing? No, they built the Warmogs, so they're probably not going to go for it. All right, let's go to the next round. And they get an Akali 2 and a TF. That is insane. They get 3 Quickstrikers this quickly? That's nuts. Okay, so they're building the other one. Quicksilver, pretty good for this. Same with Hand of Justice. Let's actually do some data checking. If you have Sniper's Focus, what do you want after that? So we could go to Stats, Explorer, Nocturne, remove the Silco, go to Items, Sniper's Focus, and then IE, great. I think IE is probably the best one. And then after that, you want full damage. So we could filter this to normal items. Hand of Justice is still good, don't get me wrong, but it changes from 3.42 to 3.72. Not saying it's bad, but like I've seen like triple damage Nocturne do a lot more work. And yeah, as I suspected, QSS, very, very good. What's the purpose of calling Nocturne in all chat? It's so other people don't go for it. But yeah, I definitely would have built QSS there. I didn't need to check the data to know that. It's just that the reason why I know is because you have Infinity Edge, and getting another crit item definitely very well worth it. And since Nocturne is, what's it called, an auto attacker, like Quicksilver is just always going to be an extremely good item on him. All the Elises don't bother him anymore. All the like random CC you get, like sometimes they get on him, right? And he just ignores all that with this build. So that's why I like that a lot. But Hand of Justice isn't bad. Like, it's still a decent item, but I think they're just better. We could also probably pop this other anvil. I'd like to see maybe like an Even Shroud in the build, just to lower people's armor, and also just to build another item, because we have 2 unbuilt components. There are possibly a lot of different things you could kind of make with this. Some dude called Renata and he tried to contest me, but I had Starry Night. He ended up going 8th. Yeah. If you have a better start than them, it doesn't mean that you like pivot off, you know, like sometimes you stay on it. Okay, so they do get the Even Shroud. Very nice stuff. Hodge is better item economy. We could look at that here. Let's go back a little bit. So if you have the tier and the bow, I mean, you could kind of build TF items with it. Tier is also good for like redemption. I don't know. I feel like you could build tank items with it. And since you really only care about Nocturne in the build, I like to prioritize him a little more. But wait, did I go forward too much? Where were we? We were here. All right, let's watch this next fight. He's against an Academy player with Lux. They're doing a Lone Hero build, but they don't have Lone Hero. I think they're just playing a cat. Why are they building Bloodthirster in Academy? Because their Academy item looks like it's going to be the Archangels. All right, making interest. Very nice. What did they sell for it? They sold Vander. Yeah, sure. So on this carousel, what do we want? We could use an anti-heal, maybe a red buff. Red buff TF looks pretty juicy there, but we are last pick, so we don't get choice on that. You could go for red buff Smeech. Tank item's also fine too, because we have a lot of damage items. It's fine to go for a tank item and not build anything. But since I think we are on a win streak, you just want to slam as many items as possible. So I probably would have built the red buff here, but if you want to go Titans for Mbessa later on, sure. But I guess we could drop it on a Kali. Yeah, probably just slam the Titans here. I probably would level up because we are on a win streak. We don't have anything that great to put in though, but despite that, like, who cares? Also, I'd probably sell the Akalis. I absolutely hate Akali 3. I think she is one of the most useless units in the game. Such a waste of gold. She just, like, jumps in, dies, doesn't even do that much damage, unfortunately. So, there's that. But Nocturne gonna be cooking pretty decently here. And we're gonna go into the next round. All right, this shop, you don't need to buy anything. But again, like, Akali, I guess if you get her for free, it's fine. But since we need the money for more Nocturnes, I would have just prioritized, like, leveling up, getting a better chance of win streaking, and still make interest with the 10 gold. So we also get better shop odds. But we end up winning these next 2 rounds anyways, so that is pretty nice for us. In this next round, we get a sword, pretty good stuff. Belt and chain. We have, like, too many items right now. We don't even need this many items. Like, this team, you just need the 3 for Nocturne, call it a day after that. Like, Mbessa does come a lot later, but these are actually some interesting mixes of items. You could go in a lot of different directions here. I think we want, like, some sort of tank items, though. Like, something for Blitzcrank. I'd probably... Oh, wait, we remove? What's going on? Yeah, Giant Slayer's good. I'd like to see maybe a Sunfire Cape on Blitzcrank. Oh, a lot of removers. Yeah, that's fine too. Stoneplate's good too. Yeah, this is fine. All right, cooking pot with Visionary. Is that good? Probably not. Normally when I have cooking pot, you want to buff something that scales off of HP. So something like Pit Fighters is probably the best thing. And then after that, maybe like Bruisers. Sentinel is probably good too. They make use of HP pretty well. But I think Pit Fighters is probably going to be the best. Like cooking pot with Violet, absolutely bonkers stuff if you haven't tried it before. All right, so here, branching out, Rig Shop, and Lone Hero. Have people tried Lone Hero Nocturne? It could work. Honestly, it doesn't even sound that bad. Like, if he has plus range, he's in the back row anyways. But if you do have that, I do prefer having lifesteal on him. But power-up's not bad, but we are on a win streak. I'd probably take, backup. Probably just grab backup here, get attack speed on him. Blistering's also good. Like, both of these are good. I don't mind either of those two. We went blistering, so what did he do? He leveled up to level 6, and I actually wouldn't roll here. I know we want Nocturne too, but we don't have Nocturne pair. If we did have Nocturne pair, I'd probably roll. We are on a win streak. I guess you could roll. This one's tough. I feel like this one you could go either way. You could, like, hold all your money, or you could roll down for Nocturne too. If you had a Nocturne pair, then I'd say it's a no-brainer to roll down with. But we don't really have that much. Like, we could 2-star the TF. We are also looking for Kog'Maw. So if we rolled once or twice, I probably would have rolled maybe down to 20. Whereas if I held Econ, I'd probably just wait a little bit. All right, let's see who we face here. We're facing off. Are we contested? This person's also going Automata and Quickstriker. But he has Shojin, Jeweled Gauntlet, and Nashers. Is he going for Twisted Fate, Quickstriker? Is that a thing? I don't think it's a thing, but it could be. Maybe they're trying to go Kog'Maw, but I don't really like Kog'Maw with those specific items. All right, let's go into the next one. We have nothing great in our shop. Yeah, just wait. We are on a win streak, but if I did want to roll, I'd want to roll all on 3-2. Afterwards, it's just like, just wait, you know? All right. Going into the next one, we are facing off against Lux with the lone hero items, but no lone hero again, so they're probably going to switch into a different build. The Bloodthirster, I'm guessing, is for Jace, but I don't really like building for legendaries because you don't get them that often. And if you do, you're happy anyways, so you don't really need to build for them. All right, Nocturne is cooking pretty hard, though. This should be enough. Okay, very nice. I hesitated for the moment because I have PTSD from facing all these Luxes. Sometimes they just completely 1v9, but without Lone Hero, it's kind of hard. So I think I'd want some tank items here. We have Blistering Strike already, so we don't need anti-heal. So that's pretty good. You could also go for like some sort of crit build, go IE. That way you go for Handed Justice IE on Mbessa. It's not bad, but I don't think it's that necessary. I'd much prefer just to see like a Warmogs here or something like that. Thieves Glove isn't bad also. Yeah, you could probably go either or there. Thieves Gloves is good in these types of heavy damage comps because damage dealers do nothing if they don't have items. And one easy way to get a bunch of items on them is just to build a Thieves Gloves. That way you don't have to invest too much into them. Same with like comps with a lot of random 3-stars, which we could potentially get in this game. But yeah, just slam the Warmogs on Blitzcrank. Also make sure to put him on the edge if you have the Stone Plate on him. That way he gets Stone Plate value, because this item works in the way that if you get a lot of units targeting you, you get more resistances. So you just want to have him kind of on the side. Not saying we would have won this round if we positioned better, but maybe against someone else it helps a lot more. All right, in the next round, we roll down a little bit. That was a really fast roll down. It looked like a computer was doing it. Oh, maybe if we built the Warmogs and put on the edge, we could have won? Yeah, potentially. Also, I don't know what Steb's doing in here. It's giving Enforcer, but I don't think Enforcer is that important because we don't have any items on Twist of Fate. Probably just put in another Blitzcrank or something, call it a day. You could also put Scar in for Watcher. That might also work. But Blitzcrank, yeah, maybe Scar is better than Blitzcrank, assuming we had enough money to use it, but this round we don't. I guess we could sell Akali. I really hate Akali 3 with a passion, so I definitely would not keep her at all. But we get a nice win there, not bad. Only lost one round so far. This comp is like really dangerous with this +1 range, as you all can see. The 1-star Nocturne pretty much carried us throughout most of the game so far, so like you don't really need that much to get him going. So imagine Nocturne 2-star in stage 4. It's probably going to perform the same as Nocturne 1 in stage 3, you know? So here we get more tank items. That's good. Probably, can we do double Hodge? No. Probably Redemption. All right, we're going to roll down for Nocturne 3 here. You could honestly also go Guard Breaker, built it on TF. We might hit TF 3. All right, not the best roll down. Not the player's fault. It's just like luck didn't give us a lot of Nocturnes. But honestly, it's fine because we have all this other... we have this item combo, so it really doesn't matter what we do this game. All right, so this guy is Nocturne 2, Zeri 2, but his whole front line is 1-star, so we're probably going to win this round. What we should start doing whenever we do watch this is try to predict the outcomes of each fight before they happen. It's a good way to practice knowing like what boards are strong and what boards are weak. That way you're able to do a bit better judgments, but somehow this board won because Zeri sniped our Nocturne. My bad. I guess it also helps on positioning. I guess our front line's also 1-star. No, we have Blitz 2, right? So here, what do we want? Probably not Heroic. I guess you could go for it. Let's think. Definitely not Malicious, so reroll left for sure. Bulky Buddies is pretty decent. It actually could be Heroic. I don't like Heroic that much. But in this game, Support Cash might be really good. Same with Mentorship. Mentorship's really nice because it gives attack speed to Nocturne. I'd probably go Support Cash or Mentorship here. I know we're like pretty far from Nocturne, but I normally only like taking Grab Bag if I could use it right away. like just use both like let's say we had 7 Nocturnes, we just use both duplicators and then just level up after that. That's my favorite time to kind of take it. Here, I'd rather just get a combat augment. Could you explain bulky buddies? Yeah, sure. So if we go into the team builder, let's put in automata. Let's put a bunch of these suckers in. Quickstriker. Drop these people in. So all you need to do is make people next to each other, but only adjacent to one other character. So that way they get a nice little shield. So what you want to do is maybe something like this. Whoops. Where you have Blitzcrank and Mumu tanking in the front, and then Akali and Mbessa right next to them. And then also just pair up as many people as you can. Just don't have people adjacent to other people. So just set up like this. If you do something like this, it will not work on the top 4 units. But this will work. This will work. Anything that kind of has them next to just one other unit. One random thing I tested, if you play a Jace and you get this thing, I've noticed that this thing doesn't affect the adjacency. So you could have this one over here and these two will still get the buff when I tested it. So test it in your game. I'm not responsible if I am wrong. This is not TFT advice. But when I've done this and left the forge here, a Mumu and Akali kept the buff. Same if I placed it there. So if you have a Jace like the portable forge, in my experience, has not mattered. What ELO is this? We are reviewing a platinum game right now. These are all viewer games. Scion doesn't affect too? Okay, interesting to know. I did not test that one. Oh, whoops. I shouldn't fast forward on the reroll. So we're going for a bunch of stuff. Okay, not bad. And we do have Blitz 3. Sorry, I said we didn't before, but we definitely do have it. All right, let's go into the next fight. Can we build this Steadfast Heart on anyone? Could probably just build it on Akali and transfer it to someone else later. We kind of have too many tank items now, actually. We need damage now. So looking back a bit, I probably would not have built this Redemption. Probably just Guardbreaker on TF. Really like your videos. Keep up the good work. Yeah, no worries, no worries. I nearly uninstalled because of Lux yesterday. They're gonna patch it, so just wait till next patch and they're gonna remove it. Fishbones is wild in this set. Yeah, Fishbones is absolutely bonkers. Like, completely disgusting build. With Nocturne, that is. All right, so we roll down some more. We get a lot of Akalis, unfortunately. I guess if we get it for free, then it's fine. Like this game, I guess you could go for Akali 3. Like, kind of got it for free. We just didn't hit many Nocturnes, so they do end up building Steadfast there. But if we look at the team comp over here, like, who are we putting tank items on? Blitzcrank, right? So we already have 3 items for him. A Mumu is a 1 cost. You don't really want to itemize him that much. So you just want to build like damage items here. So Mbessa, TF, things like that. So yeah, we probably should have built the Guardbreaker before in the back line just to kill the belt. What is this person playing? Vander 3-star, gloves off Vander. It's actually kind of scary, but do we have enough? We do have a Giant Slayer. That's a really useful item against big dudes, but I think this guy has enough regen to sustain us. I mean, it makes sense that they beat us. They have 3-star gloves off. We have 2-star Nocturne, so if they didn't beat us at this point, then the game would not be fair. But sometimes the game is fair. All right, what do we want off this carousel? Probably some sort of damage item. Fuck it, just get the Nocturne, right? Like, we don't need any more items anyways. Someone else took it though. There are times where you want to go for champion over items on carousel, and I think this is one of those times, but I'd say get the bow. Someone else took it, so sure, chain. Is sniper +1 range or +2? I think it's +2. It hurts getting a rod when you're going AD. It's really Rageblade, Gunblade, or Crown Guard. I guess Morelos if you have an AP champ. Yeah, I mean, it happens, right? Gunblade's not bad, though. I mean, all those items you mentioned aren't bad. They're not optimal, but they're not bad. Rageblade is optimal in some cases, though, like if you're going Twitch. So we got Akali 3. We're tank Akali 3. I don't think that's best in slot Akali, but it's okay. I know they didn't want it either. All right, so this is Heimerdinger, Visionary. We should win this, right? It's 1-star Heimer. I've noticed 1-star Heimer without Archangels just isn't that strong, but honestly, he did a lot of work here. He was like 1 or 2 casts off from like beating us, which I'm actually kind of surprised about. Normally, my 1-star Heimers don't do anything unless I have Archangels. Earlier, he should have went Sunfire, not Redemption. He has Blistering Strike, so that's why he didn't build Sunfire. What would you have done with the items looking back? Like, I would have built the QSS a long time ago. Giant Slayer's good, though, also, but I like QSS on Nocturne a lot. He just never stops autoing. Never a bad thing for an auto attack champ. And then when he had the tier belt chain glove, like the items you see here on the Akali, the left one and the middle one, probably just guard breaker TF. It's not the best item, but it's decent. Am I live on Twitch as well? Yeah, I'm live on both Twitch and YouTube, so whichever platform you prefer, do whichever you want. Can a player hit Plat playing Automata Quickstriker or Family Pit Fighters build? You could reach Challenger doing those builds. Pretty much with like any build, you could reach whatever rank you want. Yo, Ruze, thanks so much for the subscription. Much appreciated. Oh wait, sorry. We are on the anomaly round. So for Nocturne anomalies, what do we want? So I believe I listed them out here. Like Eagle Eye is really, really good. Bully's pretty decent. Damage Amp is decent in general. If you have +1 range, you don't want invisibility. It's just not necessary. So focus on these in this game. There are many other ones that are takeable though, so keep that in mind. Probably not this one. Don't need Laser Eye. Don't need Mage Armor. Probably not this one. Touch of Frost. I don't like this one that much on this build either. Touch of Frost is really good if you have like AoE champions. Like Malzahar is really good with that one. On first death, revive to full health. Last chance, like it's takeable on Nocturne, but in this build, I don't like it that much because I like it if I have like a frontline melee carry, not a backline. Kill streak, don't need it. Hyper velocity. I've never tried this one on Nocturne, but since we're high health, you might be able to take this. Oh wait, no, I'm mixing this up with something else. There's another anomaly where it's like you gain, I think it's 15% attack speed, and then every kill you get 1% more. This one's probably takeable. He likes attack speed, so why not? He just doesn't cast that much compared to other units, so I don't think it's like that good. Maybe we should have rolled a bit more to get something else. Something with damage amp would have been nice. All right. So we're at 50 gold, so we could skip around a bit. The anomaly round's always like really, really long. I don't know why it's like a minute. It allows people to reroll 60 gold to get whatever anomaly they want. So we're against a Matty Bruiser. Do we really only have 5 copies of Nocturne? That's really, really bad. We need to all in on stage 5-1. Okay. Did we actually win this one? Holy cow, Maddie is so bad. Both in-game and IRL. I hate her so much. Like, just like such a bad unit. And also such a bad character. Alright, so we get Nocturne there. So we just need one more Nocturne. So we all in, use double duplicator, and we are going to be good to go. You could also save them for Twist of Fate. But we don't have items for Twist of Fate. Had we built them before, I'd say like go for it, go for TF3. But unless that happens, like, yeah. Oh, sorry, I skipped around a little bit too quickly. So he does a bit of a roll down, gets the Nocturne there. You shouldn't use both duplicators at this point, by the way, because he still could show up in the next round. So we almost potentially wasted a thing there. But now we just level to 7 and go from there. All right, what do we want here? So we have Edge and Knight or BT for Mbessa already. So either one of those, like Negatron for BT, or just like, yeah, probably just Edge and Knight. Could go tank items, yeah, sure. I guess we don't have the Mbessa yet. Touch of Frost for Corki is pretty good. Yeah, it's okay. I don't really like using Anomaly on Corki. I feel like Corki's not the best main carry, but yeah, I guess that's a support one. It's not bad. He does hit a couple of units, right? Anomalies is a gambler's nightmare. I'm the gambler, yeah. What separates a diamond and a master? I don't really like this question that much, but it's really popular. It's like, what's the difference between a high school baseball player and a college baseball player? One is just better than the other, right? They can throw faster, they can field better, they can hit better. Same thing in TFT, right? If you're a higher rank than someone in TFT, you are likely better at managing econ, better at knowing what items to slam, better at knowing what comps to run based on what position you're in. It's really like a lot of different things. Now, if you give me 2 replays of one diamond player and one master player, we could pinpoint more specific things. But in general, it's like, I know that's a very popular question. I wonder the same thing as well. But if we look at any other discipline, it could be like chess, it could be sports, it could be coding, it could be juggling. What's the difference between someone who's decent and someone who's a bit more decent? On average, it's going to be everything, right? So it's kind of hard to answer that question. We actually lose this one? Holy cow. Vander 3-star, gloves off. He's not messing around. What breakthroughs did you make that took you from Diamond to Masters? That was a long time ago. When I was in set 1, that was the first time I hit Masters. Like, I guess Challenger was the first time in set 1. It was really just knowing all the ins and outs of whatever line I'm taking. So when I am playing, let's look at the team comps right now on bunnymuffins.lol/meta. I list some comps out to one trick because I did one trick back in the day. I played Yordle Sorcerers. So we could make a very similar comparison to Corki and Bessa. When I was playing Yordle Sorcerers, I knew every in and out of the comp at every point in the game. So it could be stage 2-5. I know all the different combinations that could possibly be played at that time based on whatever rolls I got. When it was stage 3-2, same thing. When it was stage 3-6, same thing. And even obviously everything beyond that. So if you're just playing one comp and one tricking, you need to know every single thing about the comp. Like, for example, in the early game, I only list out one early game comp for Corki and Bessa. You need to know like 10 different variations if you're one tricking a comp. Maybe a diamond player only knows 5, but the master player knows 10 or 8. If you are playing like deciding between going the Sentinel version or the Emissary version, or between the Emissary version and the Rumble version, you need to know the exact situations where each one is better than the other based on like what augments you have, what anomaly you get, what units you're hitting, what you have 2-star at the time, things like that. So just like knowing more about the game in general is going to be the main like breakthrough, so to speak. Have you tried the Urgot comp? I have. Just once though. It's pretty good, like, not gonna lie. It's not a meme comp. Not a meme comp at all. I unknowingly started finding variations because I kept getting yeah, that's a great way to learn by force. Like, sometimes you're playing Silco carry and you hit a random Malzahar, and normally you don't run Malzahar in Dominators, right? But, like, you find a way to make it fit sometimes. Can you explain how to fast 8 or fast 9? Normally you want to do it with an econ augment, so something like, what are some econ augments? Like Epic, Patient Study, what else? Slammin', things like that. Those make it much easier to do from the start of the game, because oftentimes when you do a fast 8 or fast 9 and people misplay this slot, it's a very common mistake. You want to play it from an advantage, play it from a win streak. And if you have an econ augment, especially one that gives XP, you can play it from like any spot, just because you have enough money to do everything. But if you don't have econ augment, you need to be win streaking to fast 8 or fast 9. And you pretty much just like don't spend your gold until you reach like level 8 on 4-2 or 4-1, or level 9 on 4-5 or 5-1. All right, so we are grabbing that Mbessa. Yeah, that's fine. Last Whisper. I know we have like Even Shroud already, but it's fine to have the Last Whisper, honestly. Like, getting Mbessa makes our team a lot stronger, so I actually like that pickup a lot. Let's see what else they do in this turn. Not too much to do. We do have these 2 Blitzcranks in. I would prefer to find something else to put into that slot, but honestly, there isn't that much to play in this build. Like, I guess we could throw in like... like, it's not important that much. Like, level 8 doesn't really do that much. Pop quiz. How do we find out stuff to put in, or like, how do we find things to consider to put in this comp if we are kind of just like not spamming this comp every day? Well, you could go to the Explorer tool, put in all the champions. So we have Nocturne. Oh, whoops, we already have him in. We could remove his items. And then we could go to traits. We have 4 Quickstriker and 4 Automata. And then we could look at what types of units are included very often. So we could go to champions, and then we have all these already. Sometimes people just run a random Malzahar. Other times people put in 6 costs. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Mordekaiser's pretty obvious because you're missing Dominator and Conqueror. But it looks like people just put in a random expensive unit. Dominator with either Mordekaiser or Mundo. I guess if you hit a Caitlyn, it matches up Sniper with Kog'Maw, but like, honestly, she's not doing that much, in my opinion. You could do Scar for Watcher. Yeah, that's pretty popular too. But it's really just 6 cost units. This is why I mean, like, level 8 doesn't do anything for this comp, because we have the core comp here. Like, all the people with 100,000 plus games, that's who we play all the time, right? The 8th slot, like, it's just whatever you get, you know? Whatever expensive unit you get that day. You know, you go to the supermarket sometimes and you're like, oh, what's in the clearance section on sale? And they're like, oh, it's ground beef today. So you're like, all right, I guess I'm making hamburgers tomorrow or something. That's pretty much all it is. For here, I actually like his decision a lot by not going for a Blitz 3 TF3. Oftentimes I do that when I play this build because, again, there's nothing really to add on 8, so unless I hit a Victor randomly, I'm not going to level up and do that. But I think in this specific game, since he was so far away from hitting all the other 3 stars, like, this is fine. The only thing maybe he could have done differently was leveling to level 7 on stage 5-1 without the Nocturne 3, by the way. Keeping the duplicators on bench and then rolling down there. That way, there's a big chance that he could hit both Nocturne 3 and Blitz 3 with the duplicators. Which site is that? Teamfight.lol. Here, I'll type it in chat. What item do we want here? Probably IE Hand of Justice for Mbessa. Both work. Probably IE. Do like Last Whisper, i.e. Hodge. Doesn't sound that bad. Cringe team comp. Well, it is what it is. It's TFT. Every comp is cringe. All right, so they're facing off against Gloves Off Vander, Maddie Reroll, and then some sort of visionary build. Who do they face off first? The Vander. What can we do differently to try to beat this if we like position differently? Well, first off, I just realized this whole game, there's a big misplay. His Blitzcrank with Even Shroud is not near his Nocturne, so I think you want to move it a little closer. Actually, it does look like it's hitting the Vladimir. Oh, that's because Mbessa's hitting them. So Mbessa's applying Last Whisper to these two people, but Even Shroud could have been applying it to these two people the entire game. So make sure whenever you have like Ionic Spark or Even Shroud to place them near your primary damage dealer. That way they get the effect right away. Also here, we got our Nocturne targeted a bit too early, but I think they would have won anyways. Like Vander probably would have killed the Blitzcrank. Probably don't win this until Blitz 3. I went third, fourth, third in my last games. Is that normal or am I just unlucky? I mean, I'd say that's pretty good, right? If you go third, fourth, third, that's like a 3.4 average, 3.3 average. I don't know the exact number. I mean, that's a really good average, you know? I'd say that is lucky, if anything. All right, so what do we want to do here? I'm guessing he's trying to level up. Probably could roll a bit. Go for Blitz 3. We're only 2 off. Could also go for Mbessa 2. Yeah, I'd probably just roll here. We're facing off against Maddie. This should be a free win. Very close, actually. Oh my god. That's actually a loss. That board actually beats this. I guess Loris 3 is kind of hard to go through. This is what I mean. Akali kind of sucks, right? I know she doesn't have the best items, but if you put better items on her, she'd just die. So it doesn't really change that much. Yeah, we're only 2 up Blitz, but we also want Mbessa. Yeah, so just roll down to like 10 here at least, if not 0. Just because we're 27 life right now, we don't have the luxury of just like waiting forever. All right, we're facing off against a visionary person. They have Malzahar with red buff. That is a little scary, but they don't have the Archangels on Heimerdinger. Not sure what anomaly they have. I can't really tell which unit even has the anomaly, but our Nocturne got targeted way too early, so that's not good. Yeah, we need to put Blitzcrank in front, and we also need Blitz 3. So we probably could have avoided a lot of this damage by just using our gold. Like, I know they want to get max econ, but in the late game, gold is not important at all. There's a Mordekaiser there. Could probably just pick that up. What else? Blitz could be picked up too if you want Blitz 3. Yeah, fuck it. Maybe Blitz. Go for a safer route. But they did get second place, you know. Also, isn't this person they're facing the Vander build? So getting Blitz is really good because... or sorry, getting Bramble Vest is really good because they're doing primarily physical damage. I also would have picked up the Mel. Mel's going to be better than this Scar. Yeah, sure. Item remove, fine. Okay, they continue rolling. Yeah, sure. I like that a lot because, like, you're not the game's about to end, so just use your gold. All right. Oh, wait, no, it's a Visionary player. My bad. I thought it was a Vander player that was in the final round, but it's Visionary. Yeah, Crown Guard's probably fine. Bramble's pretty useless against them. Nocturne's getting targeted a little early. Is he able to wipe through it? Not enough. So we end up getting a second here. So what could have been done differently this game? I think the item slams at the start definitely would have made a difference. Getting Heroic Grab Bag on 4-2, I don't like that at all. Mainly because we end up not getting value for it until stage 5-1. So we pretty much skip 1, 2, 3, 4 combat rounds. That's really risky to do. And combat augments are just like really good whenever you have this setup. And like we probably will hit the Nocturne 3 eventually, even without the duplicators, just because like we're really healthy and we have like 50 gold already. So I think those are the two major things that kind of change about this game. All right, let's move on into the next game. It's going to be a... Do we want family reroll, a flexible game, Kog'Maw Scar, Black Rose Silco? Let's go with the family reroll. Yo, what's up, Fizzle? 3-star Violet has negative 1.1 delta with it, with Fishbones. Yeah, Violet's just good with like any, what's it called? Artifact item. All right, we are going to do the family game. Please no family. All right, fine. We'll do family after this. We'll do the flexible game. This one is titled Plat Flexible Bruiser. We'll full screen this. This guy's got a wide screen. Holy cow. You know, I've seen this screen used in League of Legends, and you just see more of your map. Unfortunately, in TFT, you still just see your map. Oh, I've never seen this intro. This is a pretty cool intro. Not a bad map. So let's see what happens this game. What was the encounter? Did we see before? It was powder. Okay, so on 3-5 you get something. So we get Camille, Set, and Zeri. Whoa, this perspective is really throwing me off a little bit. I'm kind of confused. I'd probably pick up the Stebs here, just throw them in. I like Steb in the early game. He works with a lot of early game units like Maddie. If you have Bruisers, you could just play Bruiser frontline. Why not? I don't like playing 2-cost units in the early part of the game because just in case I want to sell them to make interest, I want to keep that option open, but this time it didn't matter. We get a glove. Next round, we have 2 powders. You could pick them up. I kind of like powder in the early game. But I'd probably just play the 2 Stebs here and the Trundle and then bench everyone else. Tier and belt. So we could do either Hand of Justice, Redemption, Guardbreaker. Oh, Family Crest. Sorry, I know it's in a different language, but this is Mentorship, Family Crest, and One for All. Do we have enough for family? Probably not. We don't have any violets. That's the most important one. That's Scoreboard Scrapper. I'd probably reroll One for All, because if I'm going family, then One for All is going to be a bit better. Okay, so I misread the title. When they said they're playing flexible, I thought they meant the flexible augment. They must have just pivoted their comp a bunch and wasn't too sure on what to take. So you could go Scoreboard Scrapper here. I don't mind that one because it's like we don't have any 2-stars, so you can just lose a lot of the game. But the issue is, I think, I'm not 100% sure. I think Scoreboard Scrapper is bugged a little bit because when I played it and I checked the stats of whatever my units had, it didn't work all the time. Oh wait, no, they do get the flexible augment. Okay. So I'm guessing they're picking that one. Yeah, you could do that. I would have preferred Scoreboard Scrapper there. Wait, was that the flexible augment? I can't tell. Anyone know what augment this is? Let me look it up. I can't. Okay. But they take Cooking Pot. I mean, Cooking Pot's fine too. Like, you could do Bruiser Twitch. I like that one a lot. Really fun to play. What else do they have? They could do Ambusher. No. Visionary. No. Pit Fighter. If you were going to go Pit Fighter, you would have taken Family, so we're probably not going to do that. Quickstriker, I don't really like that one that much. Probably just going to be Bruiser, and then you're going to just feed the Bruiser every single turn. But I would definitely build this right away, because every turn you gain like 50 health on whoever's closest to a unit with the emblem, or a spatula or pan. So you want to definitely build this right away. And as we talked about before in the previous game, whenever you do have this, you want to stack it up on someone who gets a lot of stuff. Is that 2-trick? Oh, that could be 2-trick. Yeah, that probably makes sense because the number 2 was there, right? What's up, Dan? But yeah, you should probably just build it right away. And we have Bruisers in the start of the game also, so we have like, we could have played 4 Bruiser last round, but this person took too long on the like picking the augment, so we kind of ran out of time there. But you could probably just level up, play 4 Bruiser, sure. They decide not to and make interest, that's fine also. And they get rocked this round. I mean, it makes sense. This person has an artifact item and like items that were slammed. What rank is this? This one is also platinum. I got like, here, I'll show you all the games I have. We have 1 diamond game, 1 gold game, and like 4 plat games. In this shop, nothing much to do there. We have 4 Bruiser, so yeah, we could just chill with this for now. We're facing off against 2 Nocturnes, a Kali, and the Sentinel guy. Oh, by the way, when you play this, you want to think about which unit you want to buff. So if we read Cooking Pot, let me load it up. At the start of each turn, all units holding a frying pan or spatula item grant the nearest champion 50 permanent health. Gain a frying pan. So you always want to put it on a unit, like you could always handpick whichever unit gets it. So what item do we want here? We're probably going to go Twitch, so go for a sword or bow here. So they took the bow, so just grab the sword, just build IE, call it a day. Could also build a redemption, probably one of the best bruiser items. They go for a rod. Okay, what are they planning on doing with that? Is that for the Rage Blade? So I don't like taking rod because if you get another rod, you're like, what do I do with this? So I would have much preferred to see like a redemption or an IE there. IE is probably good because you need some damage in this build because you have all the bruisers out. So that's a lot of tankiness, so you just balance it with damage. But yeah, you notice how Urgot did like the hop there. I'm not sure if it's a 50-50 or if it defaults to whoever's stronger, but you want to just be buffing the set here because you're probably going to keep him the entire game, and he's like a 2-cost unit versus the 1-cost units. Another thing to note about Cooking Pot is that I prefer it in reroll comps. The reason why is because you could stack 1 unit the entire game, whereas if you go for like Twitch Bruiser, you're going to be buffing units that are not named Mundo for most of the game. So you don't get like the full giga value from the augment, but it's still decent value because health is pretty nice on Bruisers because they kind of scale off of it a little bit. So it's not the end of the world by any means, but that's why it's so good in like family reroll, because you could just keep buffing Violet over and over and over, and then she has like 1 billion health, and then you are going to be chilling. Am I talking to someone? No. I'm just doing a coaching game. Like VOD review coaching. Alright. Nothing much to do in this round. We could pick up Violet just to play Pit Fighters in the future. We could also drop in Ezreal for Artillerists. Both are fine. You could use Violet. You could use Violet as a holder for your Bruiser emblem, just because she's a melee unit, so she makes decent use of it. And Pit Fighter, they do healing off of like however much health they have, percentage base, so it's like a decent item holder for Bruiser emblem, but it's not the end of the world if you don't have it. I'm in Plat now, but the thing I'm having the most trouble with is knowing when to pivot and how to flex my board consistently. People have trouble with that at all ratings, to be honest. The way to kind of fix that is try to get direction as early as possible. Like in this game, it was pretty easy because they took a emblem, or they took a frying pan. So with that, you're pretty much just limited to 2 comps. It's either like the family comp or like Bruisers, in my opinion, because they work best with this augment. And then you just put the units in your team planner and then just hard force it. If you're playing flex, it's a little trickier because like you need to know different variations of the build. I'm not saying it's like impossible to do for like a Plat player, but if you do decide to do that, try to focus on like maybe 1 or 2 comps at a time. Maybe like in the start of the game, only go for attack damage comps, or like only go for ability power comp. So for example, if you're doing attack damage, you could do maybe like Emissary Corki as like your main go-to, and then maybe like Tristana Reroll as like a backup. There are a couple other comps you could add in there too. If you're doing ability power comps, you could go like Dominators every game or like Heimerdinger every game and try to see what units you hit if you want to play like decently flexibly. We pick up these two Urgots. Probably should have done that regardless of whether we make interest or not, just because it's going to help our stage 3 a ton. Let's see what else we get. Probably could sell those. 2, 4, 6, 9. So we could sell those 3, maybe the Ezreal and the... Yeah, I'd probably just sell the Ezreal. Like, you'll get a Pit Fighter or Artillerist. Like, yeah, we got the Tristana here. Perfect. So level up, drop in Tristana, and call it a day. No, don't reroll. Why reroll? Okay. I'm trying to think of what they want to look for there. But just put Tristana in. You don't reroll again, please. I'm begging. Oh no. It's okay. So if you follow the Bunny Muffins leveling strategies, you would not reroll there, because we're probably going for like a Twitch Mundo comp, right? So I probably wouldn't remove her. Just keep it on Urgot. Screw it. Also, I'd probably just play like Tristana here to get Artillerist. If you did not have Tristana, just play the second Trundle because he gets 4 Bruiser. If you played this Alawi, it's kind of just like a naked Alawi, right? So it's not getting any benefit at all. So I'd just play like extra Bruiser. Why not? Serb says he's talking to beautiful woman. They're blowing up his DMs. No cap. Sure. I've been trying to play Heimer, and it's tricky to know when to go full Academy or more Sentinel. So that's actually an easy choice in most cases, because the decision to go deep into Academy really depends on what the Academy items are. If you can make use of them, I'd say go deep into Academy. If you can't, then go more into Sentinel. Another thing to keep in mind is whether... That's another thing why I did not like the rolls. It's because we like rolled and then we didn't make interest without selling Tristana. That really sucks. So this is Restart Mission. This one is, I think... is this Diversified Portfolio Plus? And then this one's Blistering Strike. Probably not Restart Mission because we have Bruisers, so definitely re-roll that one. It could be Diversified. Like, Blistering's pretty good too. This one is Misconnections, and this one's Placebo. So I'd probably go Blistering here. Like, the red buff effect or like the burn effect is really nice whenever you're playing Bruisers, because we saw a Bruiser game previously before, right? And whenever... Oh, Corki's amazing. And whenever you have a lot of tanks in your team, you want to just have some sort of burn effect, because you make really good use of the delay from your tank units. So that's one thing to keep in mind there. I don't mind slamming the Protector's Vow here. It's a really good Elise item. Probably one of her best items, period, because she is a stun bot, and getting her to stun as fast as possible is going to be the best thing possible. So Tyr doesn't really do much in this comp apart from Redemption. Chain is best for Bramble Vest or Sunfire Cape, which is good, don't get me wrong, but I also like building items as fast as possible. And another thing is we are going to go for a bow on Carousel almost no matter what, because we want the Rage Blade. So if you slam the other items, like, you just get a ton of value that way. But we end up taking a bunch of damage here. We don't have the best board. We also didn't level up. Most people level up to level 6 at this point, and had we not rolled in the previous round, we could probably do it and sell the Alawi and be level 6, probably 50 gold anyways. So that's another thing to keep track of too. But yeah, we could level up now. I don't know why we're in love with this Alawi. In this situation, no, don't roll. Cannot roll. Cannot roll. You know the meme where it's like the scammer saying like, do not redeem? That's me right now, but I'm saying do not roll, because we're playing around 4 costs and we cannot... What's it called? We cannot be rolling before level 8. So someone asked in the chat before, how do I fast 8? Rolling in stage 3 is a big no-no. You cannot do that. Another thing to keep in mind here is that we have this emblem and we have cooking pot. Again, it buffs the closest unit. So you have to read the augments that you pick just to make sure you're using them correctly. We always want to be buffing specific units. We don't want it to RNG on someone, you know? Probably sell the units to the right, make 50 gold. Yeah, you could sell Zyra too. Zyra doesn't really belong in the Bruiser comp, even though she is an experiment. People get tunnel vision on staying above 50, but that's not the only thing you should be worried about. Yeah, that's true too. Oh, this is beautiful. Get the pan. Awesome. Ooh, nice. That's huge. Okay, we could go like lots of bruisers here. Could have also went spatula for experiment. Both probably work. What's the experiment thing build out of again? Let me look it up. I've honestly never built experiment emblem, so I actually don't know what it builds out of, but it builds out of belt, so they both need belts. Okay, so let me rewind a bit. They leveled up to 7 here. Yeah, that's good. And they roll again. No, you can't roll. I know it feels bad, but like we rolled what, like 2 times on 3-1, 1 time on 3-3, and then another time on 3-5, I think. So that's like 8 gold that we're just missing, assuming that they didn't reroll more that I missed. But we could wait on this pan. But you could just put pan on whoever has the Bruiser emblem anyway. So in this case, it's going to be the Alawi, and then it'll double buff from your cooking pot. So you definitely want to slam the pan onto the Alawi, and that way they also buff the same unit. It's actually a really neat trick that you could kind of do before you get the other belt. Again, I would still slam the Protector's Vow because the items we're going for now are going to be a belt and then a bow. That way we get second Bruiser emblem and the Rage Blade. So this tier and the chain, they're not going to see much love from us for a while. And definitely sell the units on the right side of your bench. So we're missing like a lot of gold that we probably should have. It looks like they're trying to go into Rebels from this spot though. I'm not saying it's impossible to go for it, but if you are going Rebels, it's even more important to roll at level 9, not even level 8, but at level 9, because the Rebel comp does not work without Jinx 2. Or even a Jinx 1 at least, you know? So we're wasting a ton of gold here. We rolled maybe like 5 times at this point, 5 or 6, so we've wasted like 10 to 12 gold. Who's playing the game? One of the viewers submitted their games. Oh yeah, by the way, everyone, you can look in the... Here, I'll send a link out. You can submit your games for me to review. It'll have to be next week though, because I already decided which games I'm going to review for this week. But you could submit them down in this form. And I'll probably add a command for it later. And you can have me review your game for free in the next stream, most likely. Oh, we're rolling. Oh my god, how many times did they roll? Okay, so they level up, good, and then they roll. That is kind of like a really big waste. You don't want to both pre-level and roll, because now let's say we see a unit that we want. Let's say Twitch Mundo are there. We have to buy both of them, and then we can't make interest. So I'd say we have to practice patience. Patience is a virtue. And during stage 3, just take the beating. You know, if you're going fast 8 and you're hard forcing 1 comp, which we should be with the Bruiser emblem, just take the beating, get to level 8, and have like 50, 60 gold to roll down with, you know? That would have been much, much better. But here, we're able to maintain 50 still, at least. It's not the end of the world. We just wasted a bunch of gold on like rolling a bunch of times, but yeah. Okay, we could probably level up next turn. You could do it this turn too. So it's 48 minus 26, so that's 22. It costs 24 gold to level up, so we'll have 30 gold. Not the worst amount of gold to roll down with, but we could easily just wait 1 more round and just level up there. What's your general thoughts process for... Oh, wait, let me check out his items first. Yeah, build the Bruiser for sure. Drop that back on Urgot. We have a Rage Blade, awesome. So this is a pretty good situation to be in. So I build the Yeah, Bramble Vest is fine. Honestly, though, because of the uselessness of Tear and Rod, I would have built Protector's Vow and Crown Guard, and then built the Rage Blade. That way we could build all our items and kind of do like a mini power spike. Did we take out Urgot? No, we should have kept Urgot in there. He's a great holder of the Bruiser emblem because he's kind of frontline-ish. What is your general thought process for slamming items versus greeting? I'm an Emerald, and I lean towards slamming items unless I really need a specific carry item like Shojin. So this is a great example of when to slam items, right? Like in the situation before, if we rewind a bit, like over here in stage 3, like early in stage 3, we have these 3 items to kind of play around with, right? And because we want Rage Blade for Twitch, we pretty much always want a bow for our next item on carousel, and we're first pick because we're lowest life. So if the other 2 item components are any bit usable in your comp, and in this case they are because Elise can use Protector's Vow, I would just build the Protector's Vow right away. Are there better items to build from the Tear and the Chain? Of course. Like Redemption is amazing in this comp, but since on the next item carousel we're gonna go for a bow, we're not going to get any value from this Tear and Chain until much, much later. So we could have had it running for like 3 rounds, potentially 5 rounds for free, essentially, right? And that value outweighs how good the best in slot item is in a lot of cases. But let's go back to where we were. We were in the stage 4-1 fight, and we end up barely losing to the Kog'Maw. Let's look on into the next augment. What do we want here? Probably, we have enough gold to do whatever we want with, so we probably want some combat augment here. 3 Bruiser, is that too much? It's probably not too much. You could drop a lot of units, play a bunch of legendaries. I mean, if you're going Bruisers, just keep going Bruisers, you know? So we could drop Steb, we could drop Trundle, we could drop Set. Yeah, just go for Bruiser. I know there's no like 8 Bruiser or 10 Bruiser trait. They might add it later on, but because you can drop a lot of the crappy units, it's well worth it. Like imagine running like a Jace instead of a Steb. That's a huge upgrade, right? So it's essentially getting like a Tactician's Crown in some cases because your other units aren't doing too much. Yeah, just drop the, Rage. I'd probably put the Rage Blade on Corki. I know he's not the best holder of the item, but you just want to put all your items on one unit unless they're capped out already. So you just want to keep them in the same place. Probably put the other Bruiser emblem onto Aurelia, and you are going to be good to go. It looks like they're going to try to go Rebels, though. I'm not a fan of this. The items are usable. Like Rage Blade is very good in Rebels. You also have a bunch of AP items, but we could have used the AP items in different ways beforehand, which is one other thing to kind of keep in mind. Are they like Rebel 1 tricks? Is this player a Rebel 1 trick? That could be the case. Like, I know people want to like cook up some comps, especially if you get an augment called like Frying Pan or a Cooking Pot, but if you have Bruiser emblem at the start of the game, just hard force Twitch Bruisers. In most cases, you won't regret it because people don't really go for Twitch. He is the least popular 4-cost unit in the game. So if we look at stats, champions, type in 4-cost over here, and then filter by play rate, least played champion. So you're pretty much always going to get Twitch 2, unless you get really, really unlucky or you have horrible economy. Holy cow. Carlos Raquelli donated 20 bucks. Thanks, my friend, and I use all your content to improve. You're the best. Yo, thanks so much. You didn't need to do that, but I do appreciate it a ton. So thanks a lot for that. Hopefully, yeah, I mean, submit your game, and hopefully I can review your game too, because obviously, like, not everyone can make it to the stream because they have other stuff during the day or they're asleep or something like that. But I will put the VOD up, so anyone can review it if their game does get reviewed. What rank is this? This one is going to be a platinum game. But we have a Mundo there. We probably should pick it up. But it's very clear that they're not going for the Twitch Mundo comp. They're just going to be going Rebels. I'd like to see people use a team planner a bit more. Some people don't want to use it because they think it's for noobs. But I see the best players in the world using team planner. So even if you do have the game memorized or have godlike reactions, it's still useful to use a team planner. Like, there's no one's above it, you know? Like, I've seen the best players use it, and I've also seen the worst players use it. So it's just like a very useful tool if you have the time to kind of fill it out. But if you are going into Rebels, like, yeah, I'd put all the Rebels into my team planner and go from there. But again, Bruiser Emblem is absolutely nuts on Mundo, so I would just probably never be in this position to begin with. But we're rolling on level 8 now. I like this roll down here. I would have rolled down earlier. I would have rolled down on 4-2 because I don't like keeping 50 gold, especially since this player rolled a bunch the other times. I'd like to see maybe like a 2-star carry in the backline. Something like a 2-star Ezreal is enough. Like, you don't need the 2-star Corki. Obviously, I'd like that. Like, I'd rather have $25 than $20 in my bank account. But you want some sort of damage upgrade because we have too much tankiness right now. It's the same problem we face in a different game. So we just need some damage dealer to kind of balance our team out a little bit. Whenever you're wondering like what item to get or what type of unit to put in, always look at your team and find out what you're missing. And in this build, we have like so much tankiness, so it is kind of like a no-brainer that we need some sort of damage dealer. And in the Nocturne game that we looked at before, we had the opposite problem. We had not enough tanks and too many damage dealers. So in the late game, if you're looking for something to put in or if you're looking for some random item to get, you probably want something that adds tankiness. This is going to be really difficult because these don't have icons and I can't read this. I think this is the anomaly that's like gain 225 resistances and then lose 10 every couple of seconds or something like that. I don't actually like this one because on Bruisers, you what's it called? The fights go long, so you're gonna lose a lot of resistances that way. That anomaly is really good if you have like a very bursty team comp. This one I think is every 70 mana spent. Yeah, skip that one. No clue what this one is. Isn't that horrible how I can recognize what an anomaly is in a different language just based off of what the numbers say? That's how you know you played too much TFT. But whatever is a tank anomaly, I'm going to use Google Translate on whatever they end up picking. Looks like a damage jam one. Yeah, this one's a tank anomaly. This one is... I memorized the numbers already. I am so cringe. Like, I need to go outside more. You gain 700 health, gain some resistances, and you pull units into you. So that is really good on Alawi, especially with this Bruiser thing, because she's just going to be a Giga Tank right now. And when you play Rebels, all you want is a Giga Tank because it allows Jinx to go off a lot of times. It allows Zoe to stack up her Rage Blade, which she probably will get in a bit. It's just really good in general. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone. Other people can recognize some of them as well. Is rolling at stage 3 never acceptable if I rush 8? Not all the time. There are times where you do want to roll on 3 or on stage 3, but those cases are if you have a lot of pairs on your bench. So if you're on stage 3-2, you leveled up to level 6, and you have like a full 1-star board, but you have like 3 or 4 pairs on bench, definitely roll. Or if you're on a win streak. If you're on a win streak and you have maybe like 2 pairs that you want to complete and they are like critical pairs, like your item holders or like a very important synergy unit, then you could definitely roll. Whenever I roll in stage 3, I want like at least 3 things that I'm going for, either a unit I don't have already or a pair. So if you have like 2 pairs plus 1 key unit that you can kind of get, like, yeah, sure, roll if you want to keep a win streak. If you're not on a win streak, then maybe have like 5 things you want to look for. You could always just like roll once or twice and you don't have to roll like 20 gold or anything, just to kind of stabilize with. But what I didn't like from this player is that he had like pretty much no pairs, or like no important pairs in my opinion, and he rolled. Also, like, if he was looking for other stuff to play, he had the Tristana to play, so he ended up playing an Alawi instead of the Tristana, but maybe he just forgot that Tristana gave Artillerist to his Urgot. All right, let's see what he gets here. We're really just looking for Jinx, so we want to power level to level 9 and spend most of the stuff there. They're at 40 health. This is a very awkward spot. Like, you could argue we wouldn't be in this spot if we played better in the early game, but let's say you just magically happen to be in this position where you're kind of like not the highest health. We're at 44. In the other games we looked at, we were definitely much higher health than this. So we could easily just say, yeah, go level 9 and go for Jinx. But in this situation, we have a pair of Corki. Like, you could roll for Corki. If we look at the rest of our board, 1-star Aurelia, 1-star Akali, getting them to 2-star doesn't actually change much for our team. We could get a 2-star Rennie to replace the Trundle with, and then we could also upgrade this Elise. Those are the things that we could kind of look for here. But mainly it's going to be the Corki, which we don't really have items for. So I'd probably say maybe sack 1 round, go level 9, get a Jinx 1, pray. It's rough, but the reason why we're in a rough spot is because we messed up in the early game. So here, probably go for some sort of 3rd tank item on Alawi, and also a damage item for the backline. So maybe we go for a bow here. We get a Rage Blade, 2nd Rage Blade. 1 for Zoe, 1 for Jinx. And then we could build probably the Stone Plate, Adaptive Helm, or Protector's Vow. Probably Stone Plate on the Alawi. And then we could solo frontline the Alawi. I mean, I like the idea. Like, I could see why they're doing this. Dragon Claw is very good. And then we could also build the Archangel Staff on the Corki. All right, put in Rennie for Trundle. Perfect. Well, it's not perfect if you don't put it in. Okay, I don't like that at all. So we probably should be playing Zoe, at least over the Akali, right? And probably just drop the Corki. I know he's using it for Artillerist, but getting Archangels plus Rage Blade on Zoe, even Zoe 1, probably could do a little bit of work, right? Like, it's not going to solo carry the game by any means, but since we have such a big front line, it just makes really good use of all the tank stats that we have. Right, I'm thinking about running Mordekaiser with Bruiser just because he is an absolute crank. Okay, build the Archangel. Yes, I agree. But just sell the Corki here, put in the Zoe. So what did they do? They they rolled? No. They leveled up and rolled. Okay, you can't do both. You could do one or the other, and I'd probably forgive you more for that, but we're doing the worst option of the 3. You know how the term there, like, too many cooks in the kitchen? Right now that's happening. This person wants to both level up and roll at the same time. Like, you can't do both. You can't have everything. They end up selling the Corki, putting in Malzahar. I don't like that either. You need to put the Zoe in. She's a rebel. And if you're playing rebels, you have to play the 4 costs of your trait. All right, we're facing off against Ziggs 3. Actually pretty scary stuff. With Scrap, they're running, what, 6 Scrap? I want to run 6 Scrap. I think 6 Scrap is so fun to play because you just use all the components and it's really, like, fun to do. And I think Alawi actually pulls everyone in and finishes this off. The Declaw actually paid off really big in this fight. Was this a ghost? It might have been a ghost. Next round, we found the Corki again. Unlucky. We need to drop in the Rennie over this Trundle. But yeah, we probably just level up next turn and roll down, hit a Jinx, and GG. So this player got away with a lot of mistakes, I'd say, because it is like a Platinum lobby. And I know that, like, we always play against players our level, right? But in a different game, a lot of these mistakes would definitely be punished a lot harder. But that's the good thing about TFT or any skill-based matchmaking system, right? Like, you always face players your level, so they're making the same mistakes as you, if not more, sometimes less too, depending on how well they play that game. But I'd say if you want to climb, you need to just not roll too much in the early parts of the game. Like, just show some patience, and also don't roll and level up in the same turn if you're pre-leveling. Like, you could level up to level 9 and roll, or like level up to level 8 and then roll, but don't like pre-level twice and then roll once. That is like the worst thing to do ever. Here, I'd probably go for the Zoe 2 isn't bad. Ionic Spark probably also pretty decent. But yeah, screw it, Zoe 2, just player. I know Quicksilver isn't the best item, but it's not the worst one either. Yeah, here, level up, roll down. And be good. Okay, so they put all the items on Zoe, yeah. I guess you could hold off on IE. Like, I probably wouldn't play this Malzahar. I know Malzahar is a great unit and everything, but it doesn't really synergize with this team quite yet. There are times where you could fit it in this board, but I think it's going to be a different type of game. Oh, we got wrapped on. So you always want to, or I guess it wasn't wrapped. It was the firelight effect that caused the Scar to go to our backline. But try to put your main tanks closer to your main damage dealers, just in case your crappy tanks don't get blown through too quickly. We end up losing there, like not the end of the world, but I would have liked to see a level up and roll on the previous turn. If they do it now, I'm going to be pissed. Okay. Yeah, they do end up rolling. How much? Not that much. Okay, they're rolling really slowly too. They seem to not have a plan. So what I want players to do is, I can tell that they're like reaching the round and then deciding what to do after that. If you planned early on in the stage, like let's say you're stage 5-1 and you're like, oh, I want to level up to level 9 on stage 5-5. Then you AFK the first 3 rounds and then do a big roll down on 5-5. But instead, this player kind of decided what to do every single round, which is good to do. I'm not saying that's bad to do, but you need to follow some sort of overarching plan. So there's like long-term plans, and then there are short-term plans, and then there are medium-term plans. So I think that was kind of the main takeaway from this game. In the very beginning of the game, we needed to do the long-term planning of going for the Twitch Mundo build instead of whatever this is, Rebels with Bruiser. And then I also think the medium-term planning caused a lot of bad short-term planning, because this player never kind of, let me see how to say this. They didn't make medium-term plans on like planning when to level up and when to roll down, and that caused them to waste a lot of gold in like half their rounds. So we should have like 30, maybe even like 40 more gold this game to roll down with. And that ends up costing a lot. And we end up rolling during the fighting round. How much gold did we have? So once the fighting round already started, we were at 22 gold. And we end up rolling all the way to 0 on the round before the PvE round. So we just wasted 20 gold essentially here. We could have made interest for 2 extra turns and then done an even bigger roll down on stage 6. So like, there are going to be games when you're like, oh, I rolled down and hit nothing. Screw Mort Dog, right? Like some people might curse at Mort Dog. I'm not saying you should do it, but some people do that. And in this case, you're just doing it in like an uncalled for manner. I'm not saying that this person did scream at Mort Dog, but I know other players do that. And instead, we should look at our own play and try to figure out what went wrong before that. Because in this case, we ended up wasting a ton of gold. And had we had 40 more gold to roll down with, maybe even 50 at this point, we probably could have hit whatever unit we wanted, you know? That's a lot of gold. We could have been 50 gold at level 9 and just hitting whatever we wanted to hit. Like, we could probably hit 2-star Jinx right now. But instead, we only have like 25 gold instead of like maybe 75 at this point, had we saved our gold a bit better. And we probably will not hit this Jinx 2. We might not even hit Jinx 1. Oh, Victor's pretty nice. We could drop him in. Bruiser on Victor probably isn't bad, right? Maybe we could have picked up Jace. Jace 2 is really good with this because we get a form swapper with the Elise, so it's not bad. And he's a pretty good item holder for this like IE and stuff. Right, so we get 1 Jinx, and we need to put items on Jinx though, so not the Bruiser. Need to get rid of this Malzahar. I'm not quite sure why we're playing Malzahar. I know he's a solid unit and he uses AP items, but Zoe also uses AP items. So if I were to have unlimited removers, I'd probably play the Rageblade, Archangels, and the Gunblade on the Zoe. And then the Quicksilver, Infinity Edge, and whatever item we had left over on the Jinx. Honestly, just do like Quicksilver, all the items on Zoe, just throw them all on Jinx, actually. Like, that'd probably be ideal. Yeah, we also need to be playing the Victor for sure. Victor is completely bonkers busted OP. No matter what comp you're playing, you better be playing Victor. if you hit him. Key phrase, if you hit him. Okay, so they do end up putting him in and item removing the Malzahar, but like we could just sell the Malzahar. Like we could fit him in a Rebel build, like it is possible, but if you're running 6 Bruisers plus 5 to 7 Rebel, it's too hard to fit Malzahar in. And we also don't even have 2-star Malzahar yet. If we had 2-star Malzahar for free, like, yeah, sure, like we could play it, but we don't even have that. Yeah, look at our Jinx. Our Jinx is tickling them because she doesn't have items. So definitely could have done a lot different stuff this game. So we end up taking a loss in that round. Doesn't mean it's over yet. Okay, so we do have the Malz 2 now. Can we play it? Don't sell LeBlanc 2, I swear to God. What can we take out here to fit all this? Honestly, I don't think Rebel's even doing that much for us. We could probably just take out, dare I say, Jinx. Like, I've been asking for Jinx the whole time. But, like, she just doesn't have... Without items, Jinx is useless, right? So, you want to be playing LeBlanc 2 in the late game. Yeah, screw it. Take out Jinx. Like, bite the bullet. No. No. Okay. How do I explain this? In late game, legendary 2-star good, 1-star 1 cost bad. The same reason why having a $100 bill is better than having a $1 bill. If you don't think $100 is better than $1, please give me $100. I'll give you a $1 bill instead. That's essentially what's going on. So I'd say this mistake isn't that costly because we're already like top 3 or something like that. I just get the Mel here. 6 cost good. Don't need to complicate things too much. If unit is expensive, it's good. All right, their game froze a bit, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt there. And I guess that's a replay. I'm assuming they finish in 3rd, but we have to play the expensive units. And we all make mistakes like this. This player, I guarantee you, everyone watching who's in the same rating as this player, which is Platinum, probably makes similar mistakes. They just don't realize it. But in the late game, you absolutely have to play legendary 2-stars if you get them, because that's a very easy recipe to get like top 2, even first places. All right, let's go into the next game. This is going to be a family reroll game. What is the portal? I guess we'll find out in a bit. But we get random units here. Okay, some Sentinels. I'd probably play the 2 Aurelias. Good. Oh, no, not good. I'd probably just play 2 Aurelias. Same reason as we talked about before in the previous game. It's like a very minor mistake, but I like just playing the 1 cost. The guy he just played against had Twitch comp with Kate. I've been seeing people say swap out Cog for Kate once you hit, but then do you also get rid of the Blitz in that comp, and who would you sub out? When I play when I play Twitch, this is a question from Twitch chat. Let me go to the team builder. Normally when I play Twitch, it's going to look something like this with Bruisers, I'm assuming. I'm going to play all the Bruisers. I'm going to play Mundo, Twitch, and I already have Nunu in. And then I'm going to have Bruiser emblem on Dr. Mundo. So it looks something like this, right? Like wherever the experiment hexes are, that's wherever you put them. And then you also want to run 1 sniper. So you were saying that they swap out Cog for Caitlyn. And I don't really run Blitzcrank in this. I don't think Dominator's that needed in this, because if you read Dominator, the unit you're buffing up is Mundo, right? Dominator gives a shield for 15 seconds and stacking ability power per mana spent. I don't really care that much about ability power on Mundo. For example, you would not build like Archangel Staff on Mundo over a regular tank item. So the only real benefit you get from Dominator is a shield at the beginning. But if you have 6 Bruiser Mundo, he has so much health anyways that you don't really need the shield. So oftentimes if you have 8 unit slots like you see here, you just want to run 2 Sniper, 3 Experiment, 6 Bruiser without the Dominator. So I often don't run Blitzcrank with this. Also, let's say you do have Blitzcrank in. You have Automata and Dominator, right? But like Automata doesn't really matter that much either because your main carry is going to be Twitch. Kog'Maw doesn't matter at all, so you don't care about Automata. So if you take out Kog'Maw for Caitlyn, which you should because Caitlyn's a better unit, like who cares that you lose Automata, right? Like it's just not necessary. Let's go back into the family reroll game. And let's see what they do. So obviously, like I already did a spoiler, right? But like if you are going for family reroll, you need a lot of violets. I wouldn't say we should force it at this point, by the way, because we only have one violet, only one powder, only one Darius. We could play them on our board right now, but I would like to see like both the Aurelias in, just because there are a pair of units. And like they're both 1 cost. The Leona's 2 cost. There's a chance you want to sell it. So I'd rather have it on my bench to keep that option open. But we get that. Yeah, sure, buy Steb. Fine, whatever. So we have Shojin, Infinity Edge, or Hand of Justice. Honestly, all 3 items are very good. Why both Aurelias? You want to put both Aurelias in because I like having pairs in the early game. That way it increases my chances for getting like 2-star units. So in case I need to sell my entire bench to make interest, some cases you want to do that. You want to have both Aurelias in so you could sell everything else. So here, I'd probably take Starry Night, maybe lean into some sort of Renata build. You have the Shojin. It's definitely a possibility there. Crown's Guard, or like Crown, the thing that gives rods. They are scouting to see who took stuff. So we have a Patient Study. Let's see what else they scout. Someone also slammed a Rage Blade already, so collector item. Can we go AP? Yeah, we could go Crown's Will into AP Flex with Spirit Shojin. That sounds pretty reasonable. Starry Night Renata, also possible. You want to reroll the middle one, Inspiring Epitaph. Combat augments are horrible at the start of the game, so you definitely don't want that. You could go Bruiser and just hard force the Twitch comp that we just showed. I probably would have done that. I'm in love with that comp so much, but if you're a degen, I think just go Renata here with Starry Night, and you have the Shojin already. And if you're playing Flex, if you don't like reroll, go for the one on the left if you like AP. But I really like the middle one here, but I'm guessing since they did family reroll, they're going to take Starry Night. Okay. But I would, instead of family reroll, I would have done maybe a Renata reroll with Starry Night. But it depends what you hit during your game. But we have good items for it. Like here, you could slam Hand of Justice or Infinity Edge on your Violet, but probably just wait a little bit. You don't have that much. All right, let's see. Okay, someone else is going Renata with Champion Duplicator. Not ideal then to go Renata because you are contested, but I would say you do have a better augment than them. So if you end up getting like 2 Renatas next round, it's the other person's problem, you know? Hashtag not my problem. I tend to avoid family if I don't have Bow from stage 1 neutrals because Draven is really important to itemize. I don't think he's that important, to be honest. Like, he definitely is useful, but I actually like Powder as secondary carry the most. Powder with, like, 1 rod with scrap and, like, 1 healing item, like a Hand of Justice, if she has Ambusher. She is an absolute crank in those cases. Okay, I guess this is why they went family reroll. Because we just got a 2-star Violet. You still could go Renata, because we have a bunch of Singe, right? But I feel like you want to make interest, so yeah, just commit to one of them here. I think Renata is still a bit better, but we are contested on Renata, so sure, go family, fair enough. I would definitely slam the items right now, though, if you are going family. Probably Hand of Justice to start. I really do like the IE Hand of Justice build, but I think Hand of Justice is a bit more important than IE, but I think it's a very underrated build that not too many people know about. It actually performs really, really well in the data, and it's because she just kills everything really quickly. Most people do like sustain builds with Violet, where they go like Bloodthirster, Titan's Resolve, Sterix Gauge, and like that is a good build too. It's like the most common one, but I think the IE Hand of Justice combo is very underrated. End up losing this round, it's okay. So what we want to see here is we don't want to level up at all since we're doing 1 cost reroll, because you get highest odds for 1 cost if you are lower level. Don't need any of these. Yeah, fix the team planner. Clear. By the way, one fun tip in case you want to do like a quick team planner ad is when you are on the website, you already know which one. I don't need to mention it. You could go to Family Reroll, click into the team builder, and then just copy this thing over here. And then you could just paste it into your team planner in like your league client or whatever. So it's pretty helpful to do there. You could also add custom units and customize it however you want after you import it. But overall, pretty nice stuff. So yeah, screw it, just force family. And I'd honestly sell this gangplank to make interest. Because, okay, good, they did that. What rank is this player? This player is Platinum. So I'm actually proud of them for doing that, because oftentimes people look at their team planner and always keep whatever unit they see there, and they don't care about like making interest. So I'm actually proud of this player for selling that unit and going for interest instead, because Gangplank you don't play till much later. All right, let's look at the next shop. All right, we're going into this round. So here I'd get a glove, just do the IE Hand of Justice combo. Really deadly stuff. It's also on a 2-cost unit, so that's pretty nice. Do they know about that technology? It looks like no. They're going to go for a Negatron for Bloodthirster. I don't like that at all. If I were to go a non-Infinity Edge item, I'd probably go Edge of Night. So I really don't like this one that much. We could look at the data. If you have Hand of Justice on Violet, pretty much the best item to pair it with is going to be the Infinity Edge. You go from 4.61 all the way to 4.28. Pretty much no other commonly built item does that. Like if we look at regular items, let's go to main items. So yeah, you just, if you build Hand of Justice, heavily prioritize the Infinity Edge. Not the end of the world to go Bloodthirster, like double healing isn't the worst thing ever, but they're just better things to go for. Okay. But I like that they're not leveling. The team spread looks a little weird. Are they trying to lose on purpose? Is that why they're spreading out in this way? If you were trying to lose on purpose, I would not have built the Bloodthirster. So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind there. But we get rocked here. Like, honestly, had our units been closer together, maybe we would have killed some units. Like, where did Powder send her thing? Did she send 2 of them or 1 of them? She just sent 1 of them. Where did it go? Yeah, look. Powder's thing went to the back line. It could have easily killed both these people over here based on how much health they have. So we just lost like 2 health for free. Like maybe it doesn't kill them, but there's like a pretty high chance that it does, right? I didn't do the math because I can't see the math. So try to keep your units together. I'm not too sure what this like spread is about. It's like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to get my video flagged, but it's 2024 now, almost 25. Like, we don't need to be spread out that much anymore, you know, like keep them together. Okay, so now they want to purposely lose streak. Yeah, this is fine. Like, I don't think like it's that important, but you should also scout. Did they scout before they did this? Let's check. So you could see on the sword icons on the right hand side who you're about to face, and they actually do scout. So they see this person's pretty weak. So one thing to keep in mind is that whenever someone's playing like a econ item like this, it means that they're not going to auto sell their boards. So you could easily play around that and pretty much force the lose streak against them, which they did. But we probably could have played like the 2-star Darius, maybe even like the 2-star Violet, probably not have beaten them, and then potentially kill this Blitzcrank, because this Blitzcrank definitely lives there and we take a full loss. So little unfortunate, but not the end of the world. So there we get Darius, very nice stuff. Almost have Darius 3-star. Let's see what we get. We got a sword, that's awesome. Sell these, Nunu and the Nami, don't need them. Bow's very good for Draven. Negatron, also good. Could be like an even shroud. If you want, you could slam Runons here. So let's say we did not build the Bloodthirster right away. And again, I would have built a different item, but let's say we picked up the cloak. Let's say we were like first place and win streaking and last pick and we had to get the Negatron. If we did not build the Bloodthirster, we honestly couldn't have built any much different than what we have now. So I guess it's fine. But here, roll down to 30. That's just how you play one cost reroll. We do need to add Vander to the team planner. Oh, are we stopping at 50? So I'm not sure. I know people watch my videos and stuff, but I don't know if they actually watch them actively. Because if you do watch the videos fully, you would know that on stage 3-1, roll all excess gold above 50 to run. Oh. Why do I have the wrong instructions in there? Okay, that is my bad. Let me go to a different one cost reroll. I swear. Wow. Okay, my bad. I don't have a different one cost reroll. Let's go to the leveling guide. My bad. Okay, I need to change that right now. But in the one cost leveling guide, at stage 3-1, you want to roll down to 30 gold. Approximately. That way you get a lot of copies of one cost units. I had no idea it said that, though. I'll fix that right after this stream. But that way you can get a lot more of your units and be pretty good to go. Like, we probably won't get Violet 3 by rolling down to 30 gold, but we'll get like maybe 2 to 3 more copies of Violet, and then we could hit it on the slow roll later on. It's just gonna be a bit more gold efficient. Hey Bunny, hope you had a good Christmas. Yeah, I did. I still have more Christmas celebrations to do though. My extended family's coming over the weekend, so I got that to look forward to as well. All right, let's see what happens in the next shop. So after you do this and keep above 50, you just want to slow roll every turn. So you don't want backup here. Titanic Titan, awful at this point. You really only want to take that if you get, what's it called, Chem Baron. I know we're low health, but if you compare it to previous life augments, the other one gave like 30. I think like Tiny Titans gave 30 life. So I just don't find this one that valuable unless you are playing for like a very specific game plan. Probably reroll Titanic Titan though, maybe get Item Collector. Lunch Money is okay because you do stabilize around like late stage 3, early stage 4. But I probably wouldn't take this personally. It's not the worst thing ever, but I feel like you just want a bit more power on your board. Okay, they go Lunch Money. But if you take Lunch Money, you always have to use all your rerolls. So just reroll the right one. You don't lose anything from it. So just keep that in mind. All right, we get Draven. Very nice. Draven 2 at that. And we oh, wait. They're rolling a lot. I would just stay above 50, like, at this point. Because you're already level 5, so... Instead of rolling at level 4 with better odds, we're rolling on level 5. That's, like, inefficient use of gold. So we probably lost, like... 1 copy of Violet by doing that. We probably could have gone 1 copy more. I know that they're fishing a bit because if we go back, they had, like if we look at the start of this, they got a 2-star Violet right away. So they're like, oh, I'm 2 off Violet. I guess they're going for Violet 3 at this point, but I think we could be a little patient. We could lose 1 more round because we're on a big loss streak. We're at 66 life. I know it's not the highest life total ever, but like, if we lose a round, we'll be at, like, 57 life. Not the end of the world, you know? Like, I only really start worrying about life when I'm at around, like, 40 or lower. That's when I start using it in my, like, decision-making for a lot of stuff. And since this comp stabilizes really, really hard with the 3 stars, and we have 2 econ augments, like, I don't think we're in that much of a rush. I guess he wanted to make use of Lunch Money, because if we win, you get more Lunch Money, right? But it is what it is. That's why I preferred the item collector a bit more, because it gives more power to your board, whereas lunch money, it just gives like more gold, which we don't really need that much because we pretty much have our team already. So we're rolling a bit more. Going a little deep. Okay, so we end up hitting. Yeah, that's fine. But since we won the previous round, I didn't really think we needed to roll. We could have easily just lost the last round, got our lose streak bonus, and then slow rolled after that. All right, we're facing off against the Renata. This is why I don't really like Heroic Grab Bag again. Like, they're not going to use this augment for like 2 full stages, and that's just really horrible to do. So be very careful when you take that. You definitely want to get it with something that you could use with right away. Like if you have 2 Cogmalls with items and you use one of them during the early part, like, yeah, definitely use that. And then save the other one for later. All right, let's see what we get here. We definitely want this spatula. Getting a family spatula makes this comp like S+ tier. Someone else ends up taking it. That's fine. Like, probably, let's pause. Like, Chain Vest would be good for Titans. We could also go Starex with the belt. Glove for IE. Yeah, probably Glove for IE is what I would get. They do end up getting that, so that's good. Let's see if they build it. Or were they trying to build Last Whisper? Please build the IE. Okay. I mean, Last Whisper is fine too. But I just really like, I'm in love with the IE Handed Justice combo. It's just who I am. All right, let's skip ahead a bit. So here we can think about finding Draven 3-star and Powder 3-star or leveling up. Since we built a Draven item, we probably want Draven 3-star, so we could chill a little bit. That's why I didn't like rolling aggressively, because in this build, whenever you get an econ augment for a reroll comp, you always want to get multiple 3-star units. So if we get Violet right away, we still have to wait to get the other ones, because in order to make the most use out of the reroll augment, you want to get multiple 3-stars. Had we taken like a combat augment and then we got an early Violet 3 and didn't have many Dravens, Powders, or Dariuses, I would have just like power leveled up after that, put in as many Pit Fighters as possible. But since we have the reroll augment and we also have lunch money, that's a lot of econ. We have to get like a bunch of 3-stars to kind of compensate that. So again, that's why like I wasn't in too much of a rush to find the Violet 3-star. But against this person, we're facing off against a Conqueror player, it looks like. They're actually like pretty healthy, so they probably got a bunch of stacks. They're at 55 right now. It's not too bad, but they are also Patient Study, so they're not using their augment that effectively. They're trying to win streak with Patient Study, but Patient Study you want to lose streak with, so that's a bit interesting. The good news about this player, though, is that they did get a lot of value from lunch money in this round, or in this stage. So it's like, I'm not grilling him for the roll down that much. The only roll down that I am grilling for is the one on 3-1, or the lack of a roll down on 3-1, and then rolling on 3-2 instead. Because when you're going for 1-cost units, you want to roll as low level as possible. And so doing it at level 4 is just much more efficient than level 5. So normally I say in my guides to do an all-in on stage 4-1 whenever you're doing 1-cost reroll. So we should just roll, hit Draven 3, hit Powder 3, call it a day. Like I wouldn't even do the items yet. Just do the items later, because like rolling you can only do before the round, items you could do during the round. So I actually would have built Rageblade there. Tough to say. If I build 1 item on Draven, I want to build like 3 items on Draven. So I probably would have went for Rageblade, and then Titans is really good though. I don't like Edge of Night as much because we have 2 healing items. So if we build a defensive item on Violet, we end up not getting that much value from it. Or like, not value, we end up like having too much defensive capabilities, not enough offense, whereas Titans gives some AD and stuff, so that's a good item to build. But this other stuff's like, I don't know what else we're building here. Adaptive Helm. You could put that on Vander, it's not bad. I just really didn't like the last Whisper from before. Like, getting IE on Violet was important, and then the bow could have been used for Rageblade and stuff. So we end up losing that round. Not the end of the world, but we definitely should have rolled to 0 here, because whenever you're playing 1-cost reroll, you absolutely have to dominate stage 4. So in order to do that, you need to use your gold early on, and then we could have kept like a win streak potentially. Because that's when your comp is strong. Stage 4 is when you have your 3-star 1-cost, and other people do not have their 2-star 4-cost in most cases. All right, what do we want here? Watcher, it's okay, not the best. Bronze for Life, prefer something else. Noble Sacrifice, also prefer something else. Not the best options here. Like, they're definitely below average. Mana Flow, not that great. So here's a tough point, because you either YOLO the Noble Sacrifice by re-rolling it, or you just like take it and it's not that great. I've actually never tried Cloning Facility with Violet. Is it viable? I don't like putting Violet in the center though, because then she doesn't wrap on people. But if you were to take Cloning Facility, you for sure have to re-roll the other one first. Okay, I'd just take Climb the Ladder here. Like, they all buff Violet. You're just playing family units and you're playing pit fighters, so every unit buffs her, and that's exactly what you want in your team. So we re-rolled, got... Oh, okay. I mean... Here, let's see the roll down. Not the end of the world, but... Cloning... what's it called? The other one... What was the other one? Freaking Climb the Ladder. It's just like stats for Violet, and you're playing around Violet, so that's exactly what you want. This other one doesn't really help as much. How did Draven take so much damage? Maddie shot him. We should win this round. This guy's not that strong at this point. But see what I mean? Like, everyone, like the 3-cost rerollers, they only have their 2 stars. The 4-cost people, they probably only have 1-star 4-costs. And since you have 3-star 1-cost, you should win every single round in stage 4. Not should, but like ideally. Next round, we're just missing Draven. We could roll for him. He's also going for Vander. Okay, so here's where like it's a little tricky, because we have 1, 2, 3 3-star units, which is great, right? And we want that. But now we're also going for Vander 3-star and Draven 3-star. We're not going to have enough items for everyone, so I would have preferred to see an item augment. Obviously, we didn't see one. But something tells me, like, maybe we should level up. I know before I said that we need a lot of 3-stars whenever we play econ augments, but we also need items for them, and we just didn't get that. Like, we don't even have good items. We'd have to build like Adaptive Helm, which probably would be worth it, to be honest. You could also BT Powder. It's not bad if you frontline her, but since we have Cloning Facility, she's not in the front line, so we don't want that. So it's probably Adaptive Helm and then some sword item for Draven. All right, let's see what we get off the carousel, though. How many Dravens do we have? You could take... I'd probably just take the bow. 5-cost bow, you can't complain about that. We take the belt. What do we need belt for? Redemption? Yeah, that's fine. We could have used the tier on powder, but redemption's good. We do need some tank items. Yeah, that's fine. It's honestly pretty good. All right, we get Draven 2, or sorry, Draven 3. We get a Camille, very nice. Here, like, I don't think Vander's that important. We could probably just see him naturally later on at level 7. I think what we should prioritize instead... Wait, what? Oh, no. So we already have Last Whisper, so you don't need to double up on the Even Shroud, because they both do the same thing. You only need one or the other, you don't need both. I thought they were taking Belt for the Redemption, which is a good item. We should also put the Vander next to Violet, because I don't want her to tank too much. I want some units to aggro onto Vander in case they put a lot of units on the left-hand side. Against this person, it doesn't matter because they're positioned in the center. so Violet didn't take too much damage anyways, but normally I like keeping 2 melee units together. It also helps her wrap a lot of times because the melee unit next to her kind of gets stuck a little bit, or makes her walk around a little more because it takes up space. So you always want to put your melee units adjacent to each other. Here, I'll show you what I mean in the team planner really quickly. So yeah, Violet over here, like you don't want to be like this. You want it like this. That way Set walks up and then Violet walks up and then potentially goes to their backline over there. Doesn't happen all the time, but the 30% chance that it happens, a 20% chance that it happens is good enough. So here we want to find something good for Violet. Obviously, Ultimate Heroes, oh my god. They found it in 3 rolls. That's ridiculous. It is very good, but let's say you can't get this one. Any damage amp is good on Violet. So yeah, they emote after that. Yes, very nice. Just take it, evolve it, and then just be happy, you know? All right, since we're 1-off Vander now, I'd say just roll, hit it, and then level up after that. But before we were a little further off. But if you're 1-off something and you have 60 gold, just like roll for it if it's a reroll comp. So, whoa, they leveled up here? What did they put in? So whenever you level up, you want to make sure you can actually put something good in. So putting in Gangplank gets you scrap only. I would have liked to see Gangplank in and then Urgot in over this Camille. That way we get 4 Pit Fighter for Violet, and then she becomes really good. Another thing to keep in mind is that this round we are actually weak because we took an anomaly that doesn't activate yet. So we're not in a desperate situation to win this round. So we did not need to level up because we're just like lower power than other people right now. So it's going to be hard to win. Like, see, we lose anyways. I know this is a Cambaran player, but like, I don't want to be like, oh, I told you so in hindsight, but like, if you take a delayed anomaly, like you're just not going to be as powerful as you normally would. So even when I said before that maybe roll for Vander, you probably don't even need to do that actually, because I forgot we took the Ultimate Hero anomaly. All right, Urgot's nice. We could end up playing him for Pit Fighter and then level up to level 8, play in this Camille. Let's see what we get here. So we have Draven items, powder items, or tank items. So I think we want to itemize this powder a bit. What could we do? We could do Rabadon's Death Cap. Oh wait, no, it's just Hand of Justice, right? Hand of Justice and Sterix on someone. Okay, I see what we could do. We could item remove this Violet, put the Hand of Justice on Powder, build another Hand of Justice on Powder, and then build Sterix on Violet. That's probably what I would do here. Anyone else have any other thoughts? Can we do anything with Draven? We could also do Redemption Giant Slayer. Not bad either. A couple of different options. Oh, Chain. Interesting. What are they going to do with this? Okay, so they have the same idea with the Hand of Justice on Powder. I like that. Sterix and then Protector's Vow. Ooh, don't build Archangels. You could do a Crown Guard on Powder, though. I don't mind that. Powder plus random tier on her. Probably going to be pretty decent, too. But I would prefer having Rod and double Hand of Justice, because Hand of Justice is really, really good in ambushers because they already crit naturally from the ambusher trait, and then getting Hand of Justice just gives her a lot more crit chance and also heals her, so it's a really nice combo. Sunfire, yeah, we could use a Sunfire effect, but I wouldn't say it's like the most important thing. I'd rather just have Powder blow everyone else up. Powder also has built-in wound or like anti-heal, so it's not as necessary in this comp. It's still a good item, but if I were to build a Sunfire, I'd build it in the early game, not so much in the late game. But yeah, this cloning facility is really awkward. I know it's good because like Powder's a 4-star, or sorry, Violet's a 4-star unit, so it is good value in that sense, but positioning her in the back like that just isn't that great. Oh, we're facing a Mbessa too. I think Violet's got this, yeah. Draven actually killed her. Very nice stuff. This game looks like to be maybe like a third or second place, probably maybe a first. If you could hit Savika, then it's a first. Because then you play 6 Pit Fighter. Absolutely disgusting stuff. Why do you say double Hadron Powder? Kind of what I was explaining before. Like, you just get more critical strike chance on her, and her ability crits already if you get Ambusher in, which we do have with this Camille. Like, watch her right now. Watch Powder. She just hit a bunch of people, and like, despite having only 1.5 items and dying early, she's going to be having a lot of damage in the damage charts. Like, okay, not too much this fight, but like, she died really early, right? So you can imagine if she got 2 casts off, like, just double her damage, right? 4,000 as a 3-star instead of a 4-star versus Violet. Very good stuff. All right, what can we get here? Yeah, Rabadon's Death Cap for sure. Or Redemption, good too. Even a QSS isn't horrible. But I'd probably go Rabadon's. It falls right into our lap. Very nice. Alright, don't need any of these. Can we level up yet? Nope, not enough gold. Drop that on Powder, skip to the fight. We're facing off against a Form Swapper player, but they don't have Jace yet, so they're actually pretty weak, because they only have 3 Form Swapper. Even though they have Swain 3, I don't think it's actually that scary as 2 Form Swapper. And we're able to clean them up there. They also don't have Gangplank 3 yet. They're actually really far from Gangplank, so this person's pretty screwed. Collect our lunch money, very nice. Yeah, we could easily hit level 9. And hopefully get in 6 Pit Fighter. Someone's asking, would you rather have 6 Pit Fighter or more Ambushers? If I have 4-star Violet, I'd probably go for Pit Fighters, because she's going to be the main carry. This person item swapped the Last Whisper from Draven to Gangplank. I know Gangplank applies his hits to more people, but I think having it on Draven's a bit better because you have 3-star Draven. He's just going to make better use of the item. It's not bad on Gangplank, but I think it's a bit better on Draven. And then you also want to make your Draven attack the same unit as your Violet. So in this case, since you have Cloning Facility, I'd actually put my Draven middle back so that they hit the same units. Alright, so on the dragon, get an item, some money. What do we want here? We want Rageblade probably. Or a tank item. You'd have to scout around, see if you need the Dragon Claw. If they... Oh, perfect, he is scouting. Attack damage. And... AP. But... do you want the Dragon Claw? This one's actually tough because it's half and half, right? I'd probably just take the Rageblade here. You don't need red buff because Powder anti-heals for you. I mean, it's decent because Powder might die, right? But I'd probably go for Rageblade. Okay, so they did level up. They drop in an Urgot. I would not actually level up here. Reason why is because what's Urgot doing? Like an Urgot 1-star. It's doing nothing, right? It's giving you 5 Pit Fighter. So he's actually not that important to put in yet. If I had like a Victor or something, like, yeah, sure. Or maybe if you want to roll down, play a random legendary, sure. But if you're just putting in Urgot, I'd probably wouldn't do that. If anything, he might have hurt your team because your Violet had to walk around a bit more before she started attacking. But we should win this round, right? Yeah, I mean, 4-star is just way too strong. But look at this. Powder did 5,900 damage versus 3,700. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. Sell this extra Camille. We're not going Camille 3. Doesn't do anything. Is forcing Powder viable? With family, yeah. How to get coached? You should record your game and then fill out the form here. Here, I'll paste it in the chat so you could go to it. And then you might be able to get into next week's thing. Did my internet go out? For some reason, I can't paste the link in chat. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we're facing off against Kog'Maw 3-star, Scar 3-star, very tough stuff to be honest. I don't know if we actually win this. So I think what you want to do is have Violet on the opposite side of Kog'Maw, because I don't think she could actually tank this Kog'Maw. I guess maybe she can, but she ends up dying there. The reason why is because some people want to know if you want to be on same side or opposite side against certain teams, and it always depends. Against heavy single target, I like to be opposite side, so Kog'Maw's heavy single target. Against like AoE champs such as like Heimerdinger or like Corki, I don't mind being on the same side. So if we're facing like Heimer Sentinel, I'd go on the same side as the Heimer. If we're facing Kog'Maw, unless I know I can wrap on him, which I can't because she's in the center, I want her opposite side. So maybe I would clog up this lane on the right so that she doesn't walk there. So maybe put Urgot in the front row. Then she walks to the left side. So we see a roll down here. What we want is like a 6 cost, but we don't actually see that. That's a bit unfortunate. We don't really want Urgot 3. This is a waste of gold. No, keep Powder in the front line. Powder in front line's good. Okay, hopefully Violet. Okay. Not the worst spot to walk, but you want to be on the left side. Because, yeah, she's going to start taking Kog'Maw's attacks, and it's just hard to sustain all the single target damage, like, in the late game. She's doing an okay job, but not good enough. I think the game is winnable, though. Not this fight, but, like, the game, if we get, like, a victor. Easier said than done, though. All right, what can we get off here? This is tough. Like, maybe a tank item? There are no tank items here. I guess we could go... We don't have any spare items. Or no, we do have the rod. Jeweled Gauntlet? I guess you could Jeweled Gauntlet. If we have Zavika, it works. But just roll for Zavika right now. Nope, nope. Nope, nope. Unlucky. But yeah, 5 Pit Fighter, kind of useless. So that's why I don't even care about this Urgot at all. And we probably want the Powder back up to the front. And then if Violet goes to the left side, I really want to see how that fight plays out. Oh, good, 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 good. We'll actually be able to see that this game. Maybe she can clean through everything. She does have to walk a marathon before she gets there, so that's not that great. But better than nothing, right? Oh, this Scar is just walking everywhere. Yeah, maybe this is just not winnable. We got CC'd there. Yeah, this is not winnable. Unfortunate. This comp does fall off a little bit because once you get your 4-star, that's in stage 5-1 when we got our power spike. So unless you get like 2-star legendaries or like 6 costs, it's hard to beat the other boards. Like 3-star 3 costs is going to beat you there. All right, not bad family game. We reviewed how many games today? Like 4 games, 5 games or something like that. I need to eat lunch. So we did like what, like 3 hours of stuff? I was thinking about making anti-heal. We already had the red buff from before, and also Powder already has built-in anti-heal in a way. So you don't really need it off that last carousel, in my opinion. But hopefully people enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing this every week, so submit your videos to the forum that I have here, and you might make it into the review next week. But I'm probably going to do this weekly stream, like maybe 3 to 5 hours every Friday morning, and go from there. But thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. I will see you all next time.